All right, I think we're live. Hey everybody, my name's JCog, and this game actually has a pretty long intro, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, and then we can go ahead and talk about things. So how's it going, everybody? This is GSA's marathon. We're doing a 10-hour marathon benefiting the Diabetes Prevention and Aid Fund. And so I'm helping out with that, doing a Paper Mario all cards run. If you want to know how to donate to that, you can type !donate in the chat, and I will be, if you have any, you can see right down below me, we have some donation incentives if we hit certain amounts. So it looks like we are at $796 right now. So we are really close. If we get to $1,000, I will tell you a story. The best story. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Alright, also, so let me go ahead and just talk about this game. I'm JCog. I am a Paper Mario speedrunner. This is the all cards category, which, basically how that works, there are 8 chapters in the game. At the end of the first 7, there is a Star Spirit card that you collect. And so basically the goal of this game, it's like the all chapters category. You have to beat the boss at the end of the chapter and touch the Star Spirit card. Alright, so getting off started, first thing you'll notice is that we are going to be spinning everywhere. Alright, so you can see right there, that was not intentional, but you can see if I don't jump out of the end of it, there's actually some ending lag. So basically the fastest way to move around in this game is to spin for the full length of the spin, and then jump to cancel the end lag at the very end. Thanks for the good luck, guys. Alright. So, first things first, this is a very traditional Mario story. We're invited to the castle by Peach. Invited to the castle by Peach. But surprise, Bowser's here. Didn't expect that one. Just a sec. Okay. So yeah, and just a few things about this game. One of the things that's really nice, you'll notice that there's a lot of text going on. I'm just holding B for all of it. Just holding B advances the text in this game, which is like pretty comfy. But yeah, so you might notice things start off a little bit slowly, but they will certainly pick up once we get through prologue and stuff. I know, you never expect it. You never expect Bowser. In a Mario game, nonsense. Alright, so we get introduced to the battle system in this game. Bowser's here. So right now, the only move that we have, all we can do is jump. Basically just gonna mash A through that. Does 1 damage. Bowser's, he starts off with 1. Pretty evenly matched, I'd say. Thanks. So, keep going. We'll probably, we have the head start. We'll beat him, right? Probably. Ooh, but he's got something going on. Alright, so this right here is the Star Rod, and that is the main issue that we got going on. Bowser has the Star Rod, which makes him invincible. And a little bit more powerful. So, we're not doing any damage anymore. Well, it was looking easy, but now Bowser's just gonna flex on us. He could have just beat us. He could have just beaten us right at the beginning. But yeah, he just dealt 10 damage in one go. But yeah, so this is Paper Mario. Let's see, trying to think if there's anything else you guys would need to know. I know, right? And another thing, he used 2 moves in 1 turn at one point. That's cheating. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. So yeah, insert your Fortnite memes here. But yeah, let's see. Looking ahead, like I said, it has a little bit of a slow start, but things really get going. Oh heck! Well, there you go. Supporting that for you, Sleepy. Yeah, so it's actually Mario's story. Just kidding. Not actually Not actually Paper Mario. Oh yeah, another thing worth noting. We are playing on the Japanese version, which if you're familiar with seeing speedruns, in general, they're often played in a different language, especially with older ones, Japanese. For this category specifically, the only thing, it's mostly just for the text. There's one glitch up ahead that is a little bit faster and easier to do in Japanese than English, but otherwise the route would work perfectly fine. There are some version exclusive glitches. The Japanese version came out, I think, around half a year, something like that, around half a year earlier than the US version, US and PAL. So there were a few things that were patched in English, but for the most part, those aren't super relevant for this category. Yeah, reset. Already died. Already dead. All right, but it's good. It's cool though. It's cool though. They're reviving us. Didn't get a game over. That would have been bad. Bad form for bad form for a the beginning of a marathon. But yeah, not even Paper Mario. It's got Twitch lying. The game is lying category. All right, so here, luckily, there's a Toad House. This will be the only time, unless something catastrophic happens, this will be the only time that we ever stay in one. They normally restore all your health and stuff. You have a question about speedrunning this game? All right, hit me. I have an answer about speedrunning this game. I know, right? 0 lives. All right. So this is when we first. Well, technically we had control of Mario in the castle, but first we're gonna go out here with control of Mario. Gonna go ahead and try and talk to Goomba, because we want to be able to get out. We want to be able to get through this gate that's up ahead. But he's telling us that we need to we need to go over and talk to Goompapa over here to let us out. And he's about to let us out. We have Goompa's permission. But Cammy's having none of that. Yeah, Todd's in chat. Yeah, and so I'm gonna do my best to explain things as they're going on. In the beginning, it's pretty straightforward, but eventually things will get they won't be the most intuitive. So I'll do my best to explain those things, but feel free to ask any questions about why I'm doing anything. So, okay, top-level Paper Mario RPG games can look very different from natural progression due to sequence breaks. That is very true. That is very true. What do you suggest for someone who's a beginner to approach a game like this? Well, there are 2 specific categories that I would suggest. First of all, the number 1, the easiest to get into is glitchless. A good runs take about 4 hours, so that would be the main reason that you might not want to do that if that's too much time. Actually, hang on, I will finish that in a second. The first major glitch of this game is coming up, and it's a pretty big one. So this is Junior Troopa Skip, and I am this is a trick that's not usually done for beginners, and you'll see why in just a second. Hang on, I gotta focus. No, okay. So I'm storing this loading zone. Okay, so what I just did, I just stored that loading zone and interacted with the bush so I can do frame-perfect jumps. Every one of those jumps was frame-perfect so that the game doesn't actually let you take the loading zone until you've been on the ground for 2 frames. And so what I did is I frame-perfectly jumped over to the bush, and that bush contains the hammer, but then the loading zone took me away just after getting the hammer, so that I was able to keep going. So that was second try. That was decent. That would have been good enough to continue on the run. Yes, you also have to return the stick to neutral in between jumps. And also, this game runs at 30 frames per second. So that would be a lot harder at 60 FPS. It's still hard at 30 FPS, but it is doable. Yes, this is actually live, Azar. This is actually live. Okay, but back to what I was saying. If you are new and wanting to get in this game, glitchless is a great way to do it. You can, honestly, you can just pick up the route and go. You might have some trouble if you try and do it that way. But it's certainly doable. The other option that I would recommend, especially if you don't have the time to do an entire glitchless run, is to learn any percent. There are some decently hard tricks that you have to do. The most notorious is blue house skip. But if you practice and learn it, there's a very good beginner route that this game is also very notorious for the high levels of RNG in it. Gonna equip power jump right there that I just got, that badge. But I'm Glower, who is a topper. He has all of the world records in this game. He's created a very good beginner route for this that's consistent. So I would suggest either of those. Alright, so things I haven't been talking about what I'm doing. So I just got, from Goompapa, I got Power Jump, which is a badge that lets me do extra damage, which is very useful for this fight. We also got our first partner, Goombario. Debatable. Some people think he's kind of useless. I'm kind of one of those people. He does a little bit of damage, though. I am JCog. I'm not Glower. This is true. Alright, and so what we're doing here, we are trying to kill both of these enemies at the same time. You'll notice a lot of little things that we try and do in battles to save time. So if you kill one of these like by themselves, then the other Goomba bro has like a little text. He's like, oh no, my brother died. So by killing them both at the same time right there, we can avoid that. Yeah, so I'm jumping around a little bit with the topics, trying to explain things, but yeah, so any percent are glitchless if you're wanting to get new and wanting to get into this game. Oh, another thing I did, I ate a Goom Nut, which restored my FP. Luckily, I have 6 HP, which will be enough to get me through this section. I just needed the 4 FP total to be able to win. No, we are not doing bow skip. Yeah, there is a trick in this game that lets you skip bow. If you're doing world record attempts, it's pretty much required, but that makes it a little too RNG heavy for a marathon run. No, I will not be skipping bow in this. You can rest assured there. Yeah, not in a marathon. Yeah, unfortunately, at the highest level of this game, in order to be able to save the most time, you have to do some really risky strats. There's a badge, for one thing, there's a badge, Close Call, that I did not get. I would have needed to get it if I was going to be, doing that route. But it gives you, anytime you are at 5 or less HP, which is danger, it gives you a 30% chance to avoid taking damage altogether. And so, you tend to need to get a few of those in certain places in order to be able to finish the fastest runs. But, oh, shoot. Okay, hopefully that's good. Oh, and Sleepy Dan, thank you for the $50 donation. Sorry, I was focused on checking my DMs. Wasn't checking my DMs. Yes, bow skip exists in. It's faster in both the all cards category and all bosses category. A lot of categories just skip going to chapter 3 altogether, but. And okay, I wasn't looking at my DMs to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I think I'm good. But yeah, so now we defeated Goomba King. Surprise, I didn't see anybody. I'm kind of I don't know if famous is the right word, infamous more like, or maybe having died to Goomba King once or twice. So that's a thing, and I didn't do it. So that's good. We're past Goomba King. The hardest part of the run already out of the way. Not really, but. Okay, so a few more cutscenes here. Just getting introduced to the main boss of chapter 1. Oh, wait, where's Mistar? We have Mistar right here. Shoutouts to Mistar. Yes, yes, we are live. Udici, I think. And Whack. Oh, you guys are making me bring them all out. Got Wacko right here. Gonna try not to hit him during this run. Unfortunately, that might not happen. Actually, I'm not gonna try. No, certainly no top runner has ever died to a tutorial boss. Never. Never happened in the history of this game. Okay. So next thing that we need to do, so we have our hammer, our first partner. The next major thing that we need to pick up in Prologue is our action commands from the Lucky Star. And so this can actually be skipped fairly easily. There's a glitch that we'll actually be doing later that'll save less time. But if you skip the Lucky Star, no, it's not done in RTA attempts. Not because the trick itself is hard, but because if you do it, then you don't have action commands, and then it becomes a lot harder to deal damage. But I could finish Prologue right now. That would be completely something like I would be able to do it. Would not be hard. But yeah, we want the action commands because there are some techniques that we use to defeat bosses later that requires the use of action commands. We deal an insane amount of damage with the setups, the badge setups that we're going to be using. Oh, another thing, I don't think I specifically pointed it out. So I said that I'm going to be spinning and jumping out of my spins. If you go up ledges, like you can see I'm doing right here, that immediately cancels your spin. So the shortest distance between 2 points is not necessarily a straight line. In general it is, but sometimes it's actually faster because if you cancel your spin using a ledge, you can immediately spin again. So sometimes it's a little bit faster to, you know, go out of your way to hit a ledge and then keep going somewhere. So you'll see me doing that in specific places. And then another minor thing, loading zones in this game. I briefly mentioned them from storing them, but you don't, if you jump into a loading zone, you don't actually take that loading zone until you land on the ground. And so you'll notice if I'm spinning, I might cut my spin short. I might jump out of it early so that I can touch the loading zone as far to the edge as possible. Oh, you did miss the 10-second dab, but I got you. I got you, Glassbrain. If you really want to see it, if you go back to the very end of Danger's run, the end of his Darker Side run, he did it. It was after time, but it did happen. He does cheat. I wish we could cheat. I wish we could go to the top. Classic what's his face. Dude, Goombario is so close to being useful and he just isn't. So one of the things we will not be getting the Ultra Stone in this category. So if you were to upgrade him, you would get Charge, which isn't bad, but it's not really good unless you combine it with Multi-Bonk, his Ultra ability. And even then, yeah, there it is. Danger's got you with the dab. Yeah, even at his most upgraded, he's usually slower. There's a little bit of a bug in his programming. I might mention it more once we get to power bounces. But there was a bug discovered that, you know, even whenever we thought we finally had a use for him in Glitchless, which does get the Ultra Stone, it still didn't work. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here it is. Twink's got us, giving us the Lucky Star. Now we have action commands, and we are going to not take the tutorial on it, because that would be slow. Yeah, he is actually pretty good casually, as long as you're not fighting spiked enemies or anything. But alright, so now we have action commands, which means that if I press A with good timing, I can do extra damage, which is super good. Also lets me block attacks. Normally that would do 3 damage. Because I blocked it, it only did 2. Which is also, there's not really much of a reason to block that one. I'm not too worried about HP quite yet in the run. But that did also save a couple frames, so worth hitting. Yeah, casually is one thing. We're speedrunners here, though. We're trying to go fast. Yeah, tattling, not particularly useful in a speedrun. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we are going to show off we are going to be going out of bounds for the first time. And out of bounds is kind of huge in speedrunning this game. You're going out of bounds all over the place. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to deal with this green toad, green tea I like to call him. He can be a little temperamental sometimes. Like, see, we need him over here. We need him to come over here. There we go. Oh, that was a little far. The wrong spot. Nice, okay. A little bit slow, but we're good. So that lets us, that's black toad skip. That gets us around the black toads. So what happened right there, what just went down is that by hammering, whenever the toad was up near the edge, that put us into a state where he was able to push us out of bounds. Just a property of whenever you're doing certain actions, like using your hammer. And so then whenever you're out of bounds, the game tracks, like if you fall, the game tracks how long you've been falling. It's not based on like if you're actually, it doesn't know you're out of bounds. It just sees you've been falling for a really long time. And so if you've been falling for what ends up being about 1,000 units, the game actually shoots you back up in the air. Okay. Needed 10 coins from that. And so what I was able to do is I was actually able to chain. I fell out of bounds once, popped back up in the post office, and then I fell twice again, and I managed, if you come up underneath ground, you get to stay, like where you came up underneath ground. If you miss, which actually did happen once there, then the game actually puts you back about where you initially fell. So we're able to use that to get to places we're not necessarily supposed to be able to get to. Alright, and also using these coins that I've grabbed early game. We're not super powerful yet in the game, and enemies tend to be like a lot of enemies in battles that don't have a lot of HP. So items are super useful early game. Not so much later. A little bit. Yeah, he cooperated mostly. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad for good old green tea. I don't know. My best guess as to why they did out of bounds that way, because it's different in later games. Like the 1,000-year door, out of bounds does not operate the same way. It just always takes you back to the loading zone where you came in. Yeah, the oops mechanism. Just messing around, there's some debug maps in the game that like say don't have walls or anything. So my best guess is that it was just a dev feature to make it so that if they accidentally fell out of bounds when testing, they weren't screwed. Yeah. They would just pop back up and could continue testing. But super useful for us. Alright, so this section right here, we gotta do the fuzzy minigame. You don't actually have to save the individual Koopa shells. I think not a lot of people probably know that in their casual playthroughs. You can just go straight to this one. But the third one, I gotta pay attention to this one. This one can be pretty difficult to track. Okay, that was pretty easy. So there we are. We got the shell. I've been told that it's actually faster. That third one's faster in the Japanese version. I don't know if that's true necessarily. But yeah, thank you for the good luck. Yeah, no voiding out in this game. The most that can happen, I'm not going to get into the details of why, but if just through weird rounding errors and things, the game can crash if your respawn coordinates are a certain way, but that's very unlikely to actually happen in a run. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right, so now we're just gonna take care of these fuzzies. The first item that we bought, this fire flower. Luckily, they all have 3 HP. We can just deal 3 HP to all of them. Yeah, emergency anti-soft lock. All right, so now we have Cooper, our second partner. He's marginally more useful than Goombario. We'll use him early game. You won't see too much of him later, though. Also, don't really need that HP plus badge in this category. It is useful sometimes, but yeah, that's a difference between out of bounds calculations on VC, Virtual Console. This game is out on 3 consoles: Wii, Virtual Console, Wii U, and then it's also on N64, of course, which is what I'm playing on. So those out of bounds crashes that'll happen on N64 will actually just soft lock you. You'll continue to fall infinitely on VC, so not super useful, but alright, so gonna grab some coins, grab this Thunderbolt, which will be useful. This switch right here is the whole reason that we need Cooper. You could actually skip him otherwise. Okay, Okay, good. That paratrooper is pretty annoying. Glad I got past him. Yeah, this game is flawlessly made. Oops. Oh, also heart blocks are a thing. I think that's my first use of one. They restore your HP and FP back to full. Notable, we don't have any Star Spirit power yet, which we will be getting later, but they do not refill those. The only way to refill your Star Spirit is by leveling, completing a chapter, or sleeping it in, which I already mentioned before we won't be doing. Alright. So, couple of fights in Chapter 1 that are required. And it's actually faster to just just aggro this guy and then he'll kill himself. Oh, Notarog, thank you for the $50 donation. Legendary, actually. Alright, just kind of gonna go around these bombs. Ideally, there are very few encounters that we actually want to take. Usually, you know, avoiding them is ideal. If you do get into an unwanted encounter, it's about a 10-second time loss on average. But some enemies do drop some items and things. Alright, so here is Power Bounce. We won't be needing this quite yet, but this is one of the most powerful badges in the game. It lets you keep jumping on the same enemy over and over. Oh heck, we're almost at story time. Oh, and this is another out of bounds. So we can just kind of jump around like that and skip the... You're supposed to fight that Koopa, which will make a switch drop, which will let you drop the stairs and go down to the pit. We're skipping all of that, so the wall just doesn't go high enough, so you can kind of just angle yourself around and land below. And then what happened is I actually went up in the door up top, but you'll notice these doors will stay open, they don't close. That's because the game because of the scripted event, moved me back down. So we actually entered through that door right there. Oh, and I fell for the trap, dude. I fell for the trap. Unfortunate. You'd think I'd learn. I've speedrun this game for how long? Okay. So now we're down here. We'll take advantage of the situation. We've got Bombette. She's actually a useful partner. Alright, gonna hit this heart block though. Get back to full stats. No, you're too late, Sleepy. Too late. Yeah, get lots of partners very easily in the beginning. Alright, so Bombette, what she can do is she can actually blow up walls, which is super nice. I think it's actually explained in-game that she was just so angry she didn't notice that this wall is one she could blow up. I know, alright, so many reset points. Alright, and then we've got another jail fight right here. Or, not another jail fight, another fight. This one's scripted, it's required. No way around it. So what we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and use a Fire Flower, which fire attacks actually, well, they also only have 3 HP, but fire attacks also instantly blow up bombs. And then this guy, excuse me, has 1 HP left, so we can just do a charged body slam. Alright, so this next section that I'm going to do is pretty difficult and actually kind of RNG dependent on whether the paratrooper sees me in time. If I don't get it, it's not a big deal, it'll just be pretty slow. It won't, like, ruin the run or anything. But I'm going to try and first strike this paratrooper with Bombette. Alright. Okay, that should be good. Nice, okay. That he made it easy for me. So the advantage of that, you can use, if you first strike with Bombette, you can use her FP ability, which is Bomb, without actually using up any FP. So that makes that fight super easy. And you can see we only have 5 FP total right now. So we can only do one of those. Alright, and then we're also going to use a Fright Jar on these guys, because these guys are in the air. It's a bit harder. Hopefully it works. Okay, nice, nice. It's a 90% chance to work on each one. So then we're going to try and do another bomb first strike. Nice, okay, they really cooperated with me there. Yes, I'm now fluent in Japanese from the very fast scrolling text. Little did you know, speedrunning teaches you Japanese. Okay, so for those wondering, yeah, not true at all. Not actually true. And then we'll level up FP, because as you can see, 10 is pretty limiting. But, yeah, so the reason we came back and did the pit is we can't continue in Chapter 1. We need some more keys than what we'd otherwise have. Right, also gonna jump over those fire bars 10 times so that we can get some coins. Oh, okay. Decent spread. We'll do the same thing with this one. Oop. RNG where they fall, so. Alright, 40. Yeah, the pit was super nice to me. But yeah, so we're picking up that key. And it is also faster to do with Bombette. We could have done it with Cooper earlier, but it's just faster to be able to first strike like that. I tried to move this guy out of the way, blow up this wall. Get another key. Alright, so now we have 2 keys. And you'll notice we actually needed a key to get past this room, because we cheated our way past the door up top before. Yeah, jumping over the fire bar. Any fire bars you see in this game, there are also some in Chapter 5. So you can do that, and they always give you 10 coins. Alright, so trick coming up here. Not a particularly hard trick, but pretty punishing if you fail it. So there's this puzzle up ahead, what you're supposed to do. So you hit this switch with Cooper, and then these platforms come out, but it blocks your progress. You're supposed to hit it again from the other side, but with a good jump. Oh god, that was close. You can just kind of jump around them. Nice. Okay, those were actually pretty decent. So you can just barely get far enough down that you can just jump around them. And it saves, I think overall it saves around 12 seconds versus just doing them normally. But yeah, it was the same for me. There were a lot of things that I didn't know about this game until I saw speedruns. For one thing, how busted it was, but yeah, so the rest of this chapter is pretty much as intended. Oh, I haven't even been doing this. That was an accidental. So there's a thing in this game, swag hammers. There is one frame whenever you initially enter a loading zone where the game will let you start a hammer. You might have heard that little swish. That was me starting to use my hammer, but the game took it. They save literally no time, and they lose time if you do them early because you'll just hammer. But swag. Swag's pretty great. Okay, so this next section up here, this is actually a little bit nicer than the way you do it in other categories. A lot of categories require you to try and first strike the cannons with Bombette, and there's a little bit of lag after you drop her as to where they can try and hit you. Yeah, accidental frame perfect inputs. I mean, what? So yeah, we're just gonna kind of... These guys are random, so it's really hard to react if you're, like, spinning. Okay, nice. Nice, so we're just gonna spin right into them. We bought some PAL blocks earlier, so we're gonna... They have 4 HP each, and plus we need a little bit more experience. So by doing it this way, they'll spit out some bullet bills. And then we can just kill them all with another PAL block. Fun fact, PAL blocks actually hit enemies in the air. Because, you know, reasons. And then also this fight will drop 10 coins, which is the last 10 we need. We're going to be buying a badge after Chapter 1. That will... basically, it's the speedrun badge. It lets us go faster. Speedy spin. 50 coins, it lets spin, or it makes our spin go faster and longer. And so it saves minutes. Probably, if I had to guess, just ballpark, probably around 10 minutes over the course of the whole run. So very, very important to pick it up as soon as you physically can. Yeah, +2 charisma, exactly. All right, guys, we already made it to Bowser. This is kind of a problem though. We haven't gotten the cards yet. Maybe it's not Bowser. He does a little less damage. Alright. Actually, we're fighting the Cooper Bros, though, who have their song is a banger. The real world doesn't know about Preds. Maybe I'll teach them. Maybe. Alright. Only bad thing about this fight is that we beat it so fast We barely get to hear the song. Because we kind of just knock them over. We have the items we need. Just kind of take them out. They would normally get up the next turn, but the POW block keeps them down for another turn. So, like, see, that's their turn. They're just struggling. And we can... they all have 5 HP. So this does the last 3 they all have. And they're dead. Didn't even get to the bridge. That's the mage. It was good though. It was good though. Good fight. GG. Okay, but that's chapter 1. That's pretty much it. This is the first Star Spirit card that's gonna appear. This is Eldstar. Actually, he gives you a pretty good ability. I don't think we use it at all. There's one backup that we could potentially need to use it for later in Chapter 2, but it's unlikely we'll actually need to. But it gives you, for 1 star power, I think. I forget what it's actually called. But basically your like star power meter. For 1 bar of that, it gives you plus 5 HP and plus 5 FP, which is pretty good. People trying to use my FFZ emotes, not in my chat. SMH. But yeah, not as useful in this category. Alright, so at the end of... at little asterisk here, at the end of every asterisk chapter, there's a Peach cutscene. We're able to skip some. Just FYI. But at the end of every one, there is a Peach cutscene, like a little intermission. And so here what's happening, there is luckily... Peach is locked in her room, but luckily there's an escape. There's an escape route through the fireplace. I guess the fireplace cooled off fast enough that she can walk on it. Or that, or Peach just has, I don't know, insanely strong feet. Or shoes or something. But Bowser left his diary out. We're gonna read that. Little bit of an invasion of privacy. But I think that's what... You know, we can make an exception. It's Bowser. Yeah, Twink has a little bit of a conscience. He's like, should we keep reading? But we say yes every time. Alright. But then Bowser discovers us, so, you know, karma or something. The Peach cutscenes, they're really good casually. They are... I really like them in my playthroughs. They give you some insight, you know, it's a little bit of a break. A little bit of a change up from playing as Mario. But... Not as... we just, you know, we just push our way through. That is true. I also can't read Japanese. I lied earlier. I actually can't. Even if I could, I don't think I could read it at that speed. Alright, last tutorial of the game. Last chance to get hecked by accidentally saying yes to a tutorial. You have to say no twice. For some reason, even though you're holding B this whole time to skip text, sometimes your brain just wants to say yes to those tutorials. Luckily, we didn't do that at all this run. That's good. There were three instances where we didn't. Alright, but now we have Eldstar. We have our first chapter beaten. Now we're making our way back to Toad Town. So the next place that we're going to go is Chapter 2. Makes sense. Beat Chapter 1, go to Chapter 2. But along the way... Do we see the ravens in this category? You might catch a glimpse of them. But nah, I don't think you're gonna see their feet like you're looking for, Dreaded. Yeah, but along the way here, so there's a little guy that we skipped earlier. If you were watching in Prologue, you might notice that we skipped Junior Troopa. He's a little angry about it. He wants his spot in the limelight, so he's gonna chase us down here. What's up, everybody? Hope you're enjoying the stream. Reminder: this is for this is a 10-hour marathon to benefit diabetes prevention, or the Diabetes Prevention and Aid Fund. So if you want to donate to that, ! Donate in the chat. Very good cause. Yeah, unfortunately, can't skip him this time. We actually have to fight him. But it's nice we can get a nice 2-turn kill here. We have a Thunderbolt from earlier. We can use on him. Does the little bit of extra damage that we would need. Best chapter, my personal favorite is chapter 7, the ice one. We'll be getting to that a little bit later. But that one's my favorite. Alright, so June Troopa. So, whenever I'm streaming this game on my channel, there's a little game I like to play. I call it Preds. So there's 4 total badges that could appear here. If we get unlucky, Speedy Spin will not be one of them. There's 4 total badges that can appear in only 3 slots. So there's a 25% chance the badge we don't want appears, or the badge that we want does not appear. But hopefully we get lucky. Nice, and it's in the best slot too. So there, that's Speedy Spin. Oops, bad menu, but that's fine. So you can see now I'm moving much faster already. The Speedrun badge. Also, I can't stand moving around in this game without spinning. I tolerate the non-Speedy Spin movement for what you have to in the run, but it's just so much better being able to move like that. Alright, so now we're on to Chapter 2, though. We need Bombette to blow up that rock. Even in the any percent speedrun where you don't need to beat Chapter 2, there's a way around it. You still need to go get Bombette to be able to blow up that rock. No way in with that. Thank you. Dude, there's been some good hair throughout this entire marathon. Hopefully I'm up to the task of keeping it going, but... Also, the train song is another banger. This game is just filled with bangers. Did anybody actually guess the badge shop right? I don't think people were really guessing, but... Okay. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 2. Oh. Just remembered. Okay. Yes, Cheese is next. Cheese is going to be doing... Oh, what is he? I forget the actual category. Dude, it really is. Hair is diabetes' worst enemy. Taking care of it with good hair. Okay, so this is Paracarry. Best partner for speedruns, IMO. He's a very bad mailman. He's actually the worst mailman I think I've ever seen. But very good partner for Mario. He found his calling whenever he found Mario. Also, F's in the chat for Wacka. He's not actually dying, but that's gotta hurt. Get a Wacka's bump there. Dude, Wacka... I don't understand why they put Wacka's bumps in this game that early, or at least why they made them as OP as they are. They give you plus 25 HP and plus 25 FP, and you get them in Chapter 2. And you'll notice, like, that's more than double both of my stats. Like, sure, you'd be a little bit more leveled casually, but it's still super OP. Hey, do you guys want me to tell a story? Alright, so what we're doing, Paracarry... Oh, wait, hang on. There's a... I should have started explaining this earlier. Hang on, I'm going to do a very difficult trick that's very temperamental sometimes. Yeah, I don't like that angle. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second. This is probably my least favorite trick. Oh wow, that actually was pretty good. Okay, so that trick right there is early seed. So this seed, we need 4 seeds to get into Chapter 6. And that's one of them. You're normally supposed to get Paracarry and then cross that gap with Paracarry. But we don't have him yet, and if we want to do that, we'd have to backtrack after we get him to come and get it. So what I do for that trick, actually, there is a gap. That place where I clipped through, there is just... They placed the collision very poorly. So there's just straight up a gap in the wall. And what I did what are known as hammer cancel jumps. That let you press B and then you press B and A a few frames later, and it lets you wedge yourself kind of into the corner, and then I spun, and that gives you just enough speed to clip through and make it down. It wasn't that fast, and then you can you land out of bounds and you can just kind of maneuver around over to the seed. If you do it really well in this category, it saves about 30... I think 31 seconds I timed it at. I actually don't even do that in my PB. It's so hard. It's so hard to get right. I figured, you know, whatever. It's a marathon. Might as well go for it. Yeah, T, you gotta work for chapter 6. All right, so now we have Paracarry, which is actually the entire, well, that and the seed are the entire reason that we came to this chapter right now. So we're kind of just gonna, so far everything's been pretty straightforward, you know, beat prologue, beat chapter 1, go to chapter 2. But now's when things are gonna get a little crazy. Things are gonna get a little wild. So there is one of the oldest and most useful tricks in this game. Do the swag. Oh, I got some swag for it. What did Wacka do to me? Give me a very good item, unfortunately. It's sad. But this trick coming up, Blue House Skip, and it actually wasn't fully understood how it works entirely until probably a year ago. But we've been doing it since, I think it was found in 2013 or so, somewhere around there. But this house has weirdly angled collision. If I get it right, line it up. Oh, that's alright. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Dang. It's a hard trick. Usually not this hard, but... Dang. There we go. Okay, that took a little longer than I'd like, but we made it in there. Alright, we gotta find the pipe. So what happened is, because the wall on the side of the house is at an angle, if you jump at it correctly, the game will treat it as a floor. And that gives you 1 frame before the front wall pushes you back off, where you can jump again. And the only collision on the top is a ceiling, which doesn't stop you from going down through. And basically what that lets us do is get into this section of the game, which you're not supposed to be able to get into until you're at chapter 5. So we have to fight this blooper right here. He's the one guarding the switch. $13, that was really good. Okay, yeah, we have to fight this blooper. We're using Power Bounce. And note, so I got it up to 13 there, and the game actually capped me at 13. Like, I didn't have any control over that. Oh, shoot. Okay, he has 1 HP left. That's so unfortunate. Okay, that was still a really good blooper, though. So, Power Bounce caps are a super annoying thing in this game. Luckily, blooper... Oh, did we make it to story time? Did we make it to story time? Smoking Monkey, thank you for the $103 donation. Oh, okay, I'll have to tell a story. Okay, I will tell a story in just a second. I wanted to finish... Let me finish explaining Power Bounce caps, and then I will get you guys a really comfy story. But yeah, the minimum Power Bounce cap on blooper is you'll always get at least 8 with good timing. Just FYI. And but you can technically go all the way up to 101, but you'll never see that. And no one's ever seen higher than 20, I think. RTA. But yeah, so it's just random. Different enemies have different caps. Okay, but story time. All right, do you guys have what do you guys want a story about? I'll get your blankets out. I'm gonna give you a story, but I need a topic. I need something to go with. Need a little something. Also, we're getting sushi here. We're in chapter 5, by the way. 2 to 5. Anybody got anything in particular? About a penguin. All right, I'll do a story about a penguin. Oh, okay. You know what? GDQ stories, high school. The Mario story. Okay, how about this? A penguin in a high school. So once upon a time, there was a penguin. He was a very lonely penguin. Oh no, embarrassing. Okay. A very lonely penguin. Yeah. Getting some badges. Very lonely penguin. And then one day, there was a bully. badly. It was we'll call him Yoshi. This Yoshi was not a very nice Yoshi. He picked on him. He said that his beak was too big, and then he thought he looked funny. Well, this penguin didn't like that very much. And so, luckily though, he was able to go find... Yeah, he was able to go find a buddy. A buddy with his... That's a problem. Oh, we can make it work. Hang on. Sorry. Thank you. JCog.exe is working. Okay. He got... No, this is not a comfy story. Not yet. It'll become comfy. Okay, this is fine, actually. This is actually fine. Sorry, this is just a hard section of the run. The comeback arc is coming, don't worry. But then one day, he, luckily, there was a buddy of his. This was actually a nicer Yoshi. The nicer Yoshi told him that, the nicer Yoshi actually came and beat up the bigger Yoshi and told the penguin that his beak was actually just the perfect size and that he should believe in himself. And then that is how the penguin learned that he was worth something. The end. That is my comfy story. It had a happy ending. Had a few bumps along the way. BRB putting in my application to become an actual professional storyteller and not streamer. I know, it was just too good of a story. Oh, okay. The end. Unless, I don't know, unless you guys have a better... Okay, anyway, what's been happening? I should probably explain what's going on here. So, we intentionally damaged ourselves down to 1 HP. And then we entered Chapter 3, and luckily entering the mansion... There's just so much to explain all of a sudden. Okay, hang on. I'm doing a trick called record skip. If I blow up Bombette at just the right time, you can see that Boo is actually moving a little bit. There we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And he's not very good at his job. You can kind of just jump in between him and the chest and grab that weight. The Penguin Named Yoshi, short story by JCog. I'm listening for any publishers willing to publish this story. Mario killed him and hit. Oh man, he actually Mario should have been the bully. It was actually Mario the bully. Threw the penguin off a cliff. Story lots of people have probably heard before. Dang, missed opportunity. Okay, but what just happened right there is I skipped, that's record skip. I skipped the minigame. And normally you're supposed to play a record for that Boo. You get him to dance. He's still not very good at his job there. But at least, you know, it takes a hot beat to get him distracted. But, yeah, we just kind of grab the weight from behind the Boo. The chest? What chest? Maybe we'll grab the chest. Alright, and so these guys, these are the super boots. These are our first boot upgrade, which is super nice. They toss it around, not too hard to follow. It is RNG how many times they toss it, but it's not too bad. Alright, but what the super boots let us do. Oh, we already got an illustrator. We're on the fast track to success with this book already. But they let you do spin jumps in the air to break blocks. They also let us do more damage in battle, which is nice. And then also let us break that big switch, hit that big switch, which I think is the only instance of a switch like that in the game. So, not sure what's up with that. Also, stairs are actually the hardest enemy in the game. Jumping up them successfully. Alright, now if you were doing a world record attempt, and that's really the only reason to be doing the bow skip, you would right now, you already have the super boots, which is the only thing that you would technically need to beat the game in here. But then you would skip bow, and skipping bow is very not comfy or nice for a marathon, because bow is really good for her move out of sight, which lets you not take damage for a turn, and as you'll see in some upcoming fights, we tend to spend a pretty large percentage of the game at 1 HP. It's a good quote. Yeah, pretty large percentage of the game at 1 HP, so being able to stay there and not die easier is pretty nice. It is a bit slower, though. And by a bit, I mean kind of a lot. But yeah, you'll never see anyone doing bow skip. There's probably, what, 4-ish people on the leaderboard who have completed runs with this trick, I think. 4 or 5. Bow's pretty great. Alright. Not having the don't have the FFC emotes you might be used to in my stream. It's okay though. It's okay though. There's some pretty good ones here already. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. Just nice in a marathon to save in a game like this, because it's a weird bounce. It would be pretty unfortunate to just accidentally, you know, I'm at 1 HP right now. It'd be pretty unfortunate to just accidentally get hit and lose an hour of progress, so. Alright, but here we are into the main area of Chapter 3. Just gonna kind of run around these enemies here. The main boss of this area, the whole reason that Bo is with us is because Tubba likes to eat ghosts. And normally there's a ghost that he likes to eat right up here, but luckily we can actually save Stanley. Stanley's a bro. We don't want him to die. He's already a ghost, so. But you can kind of just use paracarry to get out of bounds right there. The collision is weird, and so we just jumped around the trigger that would start a cutscene where Stanley gets eaten. So Stanley has been saved. Also known as Brown House Skip, aka BHS 2.0. Lesser known name. Saved. Alright, but now we are in Tubba's castle. These sentinels here. They're, so normally the intended strat to get around them is you are supposed to use bow whenever they get close, so that they miss you. But with good movement and speedy spin, you could actually just run right past them. They're pretty slow until they get right above you. So that's what we'll do. And actually, that panel right there, I'm pretty sure is the only reason you'd need the super boots to beat Chapter 3. It really is. This game is just filled with good music. Right here, we're going to hit our first upgrade block. So in this game, partners can be upgraded twice. Once right off the bat, and then again if you get the Ultra Stone. We unfortunately won't be getting the Ultra Stone because that's pretty slow. Oh no. No, I got caught, dude. Alright, actually faster to get caught there and thrown back to the beginning. Also, just on the off chance that something bad happens, I'm gonna run over here and save. Because, again, running around with 1 HP with clubbas that like to try and smack you. And it's pretty quick to save. But yeah, actually just quicker to get caught there and brought back than to try and backtrack manually. But yeah, got that key. Open this door. Gonna spin our way down here. There we go. So you can just run right past them. Spin right past them. You can't walk right past them. Alright. And then right up here, this is one area you might think you would require bow to get past, but actually with good movement, Oh, that was not very good movement. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Just gotta wait for it to go up and down again. That is... Okay, hang on. Hang on. These angles. Dang, oh my god. Okay, I usually don't struggle this much with this trick, but... Luckily you don't die. There we go, that's better. Yeah, luckily you can't die in the overworld, so you're capped at 1 HP. They changed that in the 1000-Year Door. If you get hit by an overworld hazard in the sequel to this game, you just die. Actually ends up being useful in certain scenarios in their speedrun, but nice for us to not die. Alright. Also, you can push that clock out of the way. I don't think I knew that in my casual playthrough. So I never knew about Mega Rush, the badge that I just picked up, and the entire reason that we're running around at 1 HP. So what Mega Rush does is it makes it so that if you are in peril, aka you have exactly 1 HP, you will deal +4 damage, which is like, you know, casually speaking, you probably don't spend much time at 1 HP, so there's a reason it only costs 1 BP to equip. And you can just kind of move through this room, avoid all these clubbers, draw them up and go around them. But if you combine that with Power Bounce, you get some... You'll see, we actually do it at the end of this chapter. It's pretty busted what you're able to do. Yeah, we do not want to hit that heart block. We're very intentionally not healing back up. Just gotta get behind this bed. Stay hidden. Alright. So I guess that was that previous room back there was the first time we've seen Tubba. He's pretty big. He's a bit bigger than the other clubbas that are hanging around here. Don't actually want to mess with him. His gimmick is that he is invincible without his heart, which you find. I think you find actually right now from this key, Yaki. And he's actually invincible. Like there is nothing you can do to deal damage to him in the game. So like there's no, you can't hack your damage to 100 and be able to kill him or anything. Yeah, you're not doing that. So we need to fight his heart, and whenever he gets his heart back, that's actually whenever he becomes vulnerable. So we're going to try and do that. Also, I'm going to try and get a swag jump right here. It's basically luck. I just mash A and hope. Pretty sure it's frame perfect, but... Ah, I didn't get it. If you get it, Mario will just kind of jump there. Now, here, this is a quick escape. You can just kind of run around Tubba. He gets caught on the rubble. Then Paracarry will lift you out. So that's just a faster way to get out instead of like trying to be chased. Nice little time save. Yeah, so Tubba's chasing you right here. These boos sacrificing themselves. Bless them. He did destroy his own castle. In his rage. If we're lucky... Oh, that was good. That was good. I got text skip. Saved like 2 seconds. It's just randomly Tubba can display text and it stops you from moving, but he didn't do it there. Alright, so we're running back. He's not actually... You know, this is a banger, by the way. But, you can't actually be caught by Tubba, despite what the music might make you think. He's not actively chasing you through this area, which is nice. We're still trying to go fast. Alright, so in here, this is where the heart is hidden. Yeah, I guess he fixes it up. Eventually. Right, so there's 3 rooms in here. Fun fact about this room, if you accidentally encounter one of these Goombas, on the way back out, they're just gone, even if you didn't kill them, even if you just ran away. It sets their flag to like having been killed, even if you didn't kill them. Alright, so we're doing a little badge change up there. So now we have on Power Bounce and Mega Rush. So the heart has a gimmick where it kind of charges up, and so the idea, what you're supposed to do, is wait until he's about to attack you with a super strong move, and then out of sight with bow. But we can just kind of deal a little bit of damage here. And then he charges on turn 1. So that's how good. That's the power of Power Bounce and Mega Rush combined. Able to deal massive amounts of damage. Okay. So I got 2 5 caps right there. You can tell that I didn't mess up the bounce and the game actually forced me to stop because Mario goes flying back. If I intentionally or accidentally mess up, then Mario will like fall straight to the ground. Yeah, the heart has 50 HP, I believe, and runs away at 45. So we deal that much on our way back out. Still in peril, by the way. Still have 1 HP. So now, I don't really know why he does it. Tubba gets reunited with his heart. He thinks he's more powerful or something. I thought he knew he was invincible otherwise, but we can just kind of do a little jump. He's got 10 HP. We deal 12. He's dead. Easy dub. And this will be our first instance of upgrading BP in the run, which means now, like you saw how I had to deal with, you know, it's like, oh, I don't have enough BP to equip Power Bounce and Mega Rush along with what I have. Well, now I do. Now we have 6, which is super nice. BP is really, really good in this game. I know a lot of people casually, especially when they're younger, like what they'll do is they'll just be like, oh, I don't want to die. I'm going to upgrade HP. Not the best strat. The highly vincible. He's very vincible. Pothole. Alright, here is our second Star Spirit card. You'll notice we did not beat Chapter 2. We beat Chapter 3. You count a little bit differently in all cards. But I'm going to do something a little different. We're not just going to grab the card. Alright, first I'm going to put some badges on. Not that one. Okay. And I'm actually going to save, because if I mess this up, it'll lose a lot of time. Alright, so we're going to do loading zone storage again. Nice, first try. So you'll notice I touched the card, and it's gone. The card is gone. We touched it. We satisfied the requirement for the category. But after I touched it, I then touched the ground with the loading zone stored, and that overrode the cutscene that the game was going to take me to. And so that means that we're able to touch the card, satisfy the requirement for the category, not do the cutscene, and just keep moving on and go straight. We're going to go straight to Chapter 5. And again, for those who missed the explanation earlier, those jumps are all frame perfect. So that was 6 frame perfect jumps, 30 FPS. All right, back to Chapter 5. It might be a little bit of deja vu here. We already watched this cutscene once. Also, we're not gonna save the Yoshis. Paracarry is kind of nice. And just kind of take us out of bounds here. Do a little bit of maneuvering. Go along the edge. So yeah, whenever you're out of bounds, I never really talked about this. There are kind of seams where you can walk. Kind of fall around the lava there. But yeah, you can walk without actually going back in bounds. But yeah, that skips the entire jungle, which is pretty nice. Nice. I don't know, 10-minute time save, 15, something like that. Yoshis are still kind of lost out there. Unfortunate for them. Alright, hopefully I make this cycle. It's not too bad to make this cycle, but yeah, you don't want to miss that cycle right there. Otherwise, you have to wait for this platform to come the whole way back. The jungle? Well, you only have to do it. The only category where you actually do the jungle, at least in oh god, at least in earnest, is glitchless. Actually, in glitchless, it's one of the hardest sections of the entire run, is the jungle. I think whenever I was first learning the category, because that's what I started with, whenever I was first learning it, that was the area that I spent the most time practicing. Also, you can just kind of skip that puzzle. Just with a well-placed, you can also jump around it, but yeah, you can just kind of jump around the lava there. This gets us the Ultra Hammer, so you might notice that we skipped the Super Hammer. We never got it. That'll be important later. So keep that in the back of your mind. Still haven't beaten Chapter 2, where the Super Hammer is. Yeah, making our way through the volcano. Alright, that guy didn't get us. He almost never does, but technically he can. There is actually a way to skip the Ultra Hammer entirely, and the trick itself isn't that bad, but it probably doesn't even save any time. Other people have timed it. I forget exactly how that works. There is also notable, there's an upgrade block down there. We don't get it in this category, but in some categories it actually ends up being faster to drop down there and upgrade a partner. But not necessary. Alright, so this section up here, we're just going to kind of damage boost our way through here. Not even Task can make the cycle of the platform up here that we're waiting on. So, you know, no sense worrying about that. Actually, I think the Task, I've been told, is apparently just 1 frame away from me being able to make it in time, which is super unfortunate. This trick right here, known as Flare Carry, I believe the person who found it was named Flare. Paracarry is like super nice for being able to get you through areas, but yeah, you can just kind of, you know, clip into that loading zone right there. Oops, that is not the partner we want. Get back in my pocket, Goombario. Okay. So Lava Piranha up here. You can technically skip Lava Piranha entirely. There's a pretty simple glitch that we do in any percent that just bypasses them altogether. But we don't really want to do that, because then you also skip the card, and we need the card for the category. So we have to actually fight Lava Piranha. All right, so we are gonna do some power bounces. Alright, 5 got. Alright, and so that... Okay, that is not actually an issue. Not actually an issue, no, we have a life stream. That is entirely intended. So, luckily the life stream comes in super nicely right here. Because, you know, that guy does 4 damage. The main head right there does another 5, gets us right back into peril. And boom, phase 1 done. I don't know if Goombario really saved the day. He's there. He exists. I'll give him that. Alright, but there is a second phase. Luckily, the second phase is pretty simple. If you use Sushi, use her squirt ability, so actually immobilizes that guy. The middle. Do 4 bounces right there. Colorado, I don't know. Colorado must be blind or something. Just ran right into the lava. He's doing his best. Yeah, these guys, they don't even attack you. They just put these little dudes out. They do a lot of damage next turn, but luckily you kill the main head. He's dead. That's all. Chapter 5 completed. Yeah, a reminder for those who maybe weren't here earlier or didn't catch it. This is actually a marathon. This is a 10-hour marathon that we're doing to benefit the Diabetes Prevention and Aid Fund. Wanted to make sure I got the name right. So yeah, if you want to donate to that, and you can see it below me, there are like these incentives. What's the next one? If you make it to 1,500, I will narrate the run for 1 minute with a Mario accent, which may or may not be better than my story. We'll see. Yeah, exclamation point to donate for that. Yeah, chapter 5 though. Completed the chapter, got the star spirit. Well, technically we haven't completed the chapter yet. You'll see. But yeah, that is our 3rd completed chapter. Again, this is chapter 5. We count a little bit differently in all cards, if you haven't noticed. if you hadn't noticed yet. So far we're 135. Any guesses on, especially anyone who doesn't know, any guesses on the next chapter we'll beat after chapter 5? Next Star Spirit card we will get. There's only a few choices. There's 7 Star Spirit cards we need. Yeah, thank you, eBay. Alright. Yep, got this wall right here. That is debate. I know I can blow it up, but it's fine. 6. Not? Oh, whoop. That was... Okay, I got caught by a star. That's interesting. What the? I've never had that happen before. Okay. The wall does blow up. That's good. There we go. We got some 4s. Correct. We're gonna go to 4 next. Oh, yeah, she's a pretty cute star. I'd say she's pretty cute. This star's pretty good. Thank you for the good luck. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, this is the second. Unfortunately, for those who may have been wondering, excuse me, why we didn't do the why we didn't do the card LZS, the card loading zone storage is called, on that card, when there is a loading zone in that same room. And there's a couple of reasons. One, actually, it's just one main reason. We need to actually finish the chapter, and if you do the loading zone storage on it, you still can't quite continue the way that you would. Like, I don't think you can actually beat the chapter. If you could, it wouldn't even be faster. But in order to get the last seed that we need to be able to make it to chapter 6, you have to actually beat the chapter and watch the Peach cutscene. Oh, wrong way. Yo, Darkling, thank you for the 1-year subscription. Much appreciated. Alright. So we are gonna kind of walk around. Luckily, the game gives you the right... Like, it doesn't care that we didn't do the other Peach cutscenes. It just lets us do the one that we need to go to next. But, yeah, we have to actually beat Chapter 5 and grab the seed... Get the seed from Colorado. Because the game... In order to make sure that you've beaten Chapter 5 before you go to Chapter 6, the game makes sure that you can't get the final seed that you need to plant until you've, actually completed the chapter. Yeah, luckily the stealth isn't too bad. Also, fun fact about this quiz right here, if you just mash A for the whole thing, which I almost do, you'll win the quiz. You don't need to know any of the answers, you don't even need to get them all right, because you can't go negative, and the answers to the last 2 questions are just the top one, you just win. The problem, though, is that winning is slow, because winning gets you a jam and jelly, and it's slow to, like, if you wanted to do anything with that jam and jelly, it's super slow to try and take it to the chest, where you can transfer it to Mario, and you have to watch a little short cutscene. So what we do, like, this is the 9th question, so I got that one right. I actually intentionally get this one wrong. Choose the second option. So now nobody wins, but the consolation prize is the sneaky parasol. Which, I don't know, it seems a little bit more useful than a jam and jelly, in my opinion. Really, Super Mario Odyssey ripped this game off. I mean, I guess it's still Nintendo, so they can do that. But the sneaky parasol lets Peach become whoever she wants if she just, like, kind of throws the little magic at him. So really, this is the precursor. This is the prequel to Odyssey. That's my headcanon. Yeah, we got caught. Unfortunate. Okay, so we beat Chapter 5. Colorado's sad that he doesn't have any treasure. Wasn't able to get it in the volcano. The volcano erupted. Very sad. Gonna slowly walk away. But then apparently picks up speed right after that because he's gone. He is not there at all. But anyway. So after we do that, we're gonna go ahead and make our way. The vase is back where Sushi was. Nice, not very far out of the way. Apparently Colorado made his way back in the bulb back in the back. Apparently he already gave it away to Colorado. I don't know how he did that fast, but it is what it is. Excuse me. But it's okay. We got the seed. Now that's the whole reason that we actually finished chapter 5, and now we can go ahead, go back down into this blue pipe, skip the whole. There's a whole sequence you're supposed to do. Where you ride the whale back, and then you have to fight Junior Troopa. We don't need to do any of that. Alright, so now this is... it's not the first instance of us abusing story triggers, but I didn't really talk about it earlier, so I'm going to describe how it works now. This game primarily keeps track of where you are in the story based off one value in memory that like tracks your progress in the story very linearly. So right now, the game considers us to be in a state where we already beat Chapter 5. Even though we're getting the Chapter 4 cutscene right there, that's unrelated to your actual story. That just plays the first time you enter the toy box. And you'll notice the train is already here. So we're in a weird state where the game considers us to have already beaten this chapter, but some of the flags in the chapter, some things are affected by your story, some things are affected by flags. One of the things that are affected by flags are this completing the last piece of the track, because technically you're never required to do it to beat the game. So the developers knew enough to know that they shouldn't automatically set that. But you can see, so what we're going to do is we are going to flip this switch to set this flag. And yeah, this is when things start getting really difficult to understand if you don't know what's going on. Alright, so now the train track is a complete circuit. But if I was to go and try and fight General Guy, he wouldn't be there. The game considers me to be in a state where I already beat him. So what we're gonna do... and also these are based on flags. Cammy is just gonna throw the fuzzy there because we never watched the Peach cutscene where you're supposed to figure out what you would normally see there. What would you normally appear. So it just picks the first thing in the list. You can also, like, short little time save. There's a hole in the wall here. You can just kind of clip through it with Paracarry. Yeah, so we do have to fight the fuzzy. Ideally, you can make a Thunder Rage appear there, but it's not a big deal. Just use Power Quake, take care of all of them. Alright, so, but the reason we're doing this, we want to grab the frying pan here. We're not actually going to do anything with the frying pan. The frying pan itself is pretty useless, but grabbing it is a hard-coded trigger to set your story progress to a certain place. Also gonna kind of clip back out of bounds here. Just to avoid shenanigans with that guy can kind of get you. But you'll notice, if you look at the top right of the screen here, the train track is broken now. The game, it put us backwards in the story, but because we already completed the full circuit of the track, we can go to the next station the reverse way. So what that'll let us do, we're in a state now where we can go fight Lantern Ghost. And I'm going to save here. There is a small but real chance that the game will kill me, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's about a 2.5% chance. It's not huge, but, you know, better safe than sorry. Yeah, a little bit of cheating. We skipped a lot of this chapter. All right, bad RNG on these platforms here. Gonna have to wait on this cycle right here. Also, you'll notice I grabbed a Volt Shroom. It makes the fight a lot safer. I think it improves the odds of winning this fight from something like 70% to, yeah, 97.5, I think, just by dealing a little extra damage. Yeah, this is where power bounce caps start becoming a little bit of a pain. Also, if there are any Goombario fans in chat, now's your time to celebrate, because this is the last time that it'll be useful in the entire run. Alright, so just gonna damage ourselves back down into peril. He's slightly faster than Bo for that lantern. Okay, good. Did not get hecked by RNG, which is good. If you get double 4 caps right there, it's not enough damage to kill. You need at least. Okay, so we would have been good either way. But... nice and easy. Taking care. Yeah, last time useful. The last time he's useful in the whole run. Oops. Alright, and this is Watt. She's pretty good. Actually, she's even more useful in all cards. So Watt, I think Watt was probably my favorite partner casually. I used her throughout the rest of my playthrough, my initial playthrough, and a lot of my like subsequent playthroughs. What's really good about her is her attack completely ignores defense. And it completely ignores defense, like her base attack, and doesn't use any FP. Which is really nice for all cards, where our stats are a little limited compared to some other categories. Yeah, Watt's great. Watt's pretty great. And we're going to immediately upgrade her. That way her base attack does 4 damage instead of 3. And yeah, I don't think... Oops. Okay, that's a little scary, because I'm still at 1 HP, which I'm going to go ahead and save again, just... If I had first struck that, that dude, I would have died. That would have been... unfortunate. Watt is also useful during... Oh, that's right. No, we do use turbocharge in this route. I was trying to think if we used it at all. So the upgrade also is useful on Bowser. Beyond just the damage increase. Yeah, we got any smiles in chat? Any smilers? Alright. Let the Shy Guys run away. You also, the reason that we couldn't just immediately come to General Guy before Lantern Ghost is you need Watt to get through this room. There's no known way out of bounds or anything like that. And the... well, also, I think you need to set a story trigger to make the boss even appear correctly. If I'm not mistaken. So even if you could get out of bounds. Yeah, you need Watt to make those guys break that wall to be able to fight. There we go. There we go. We got some smiles. I like it. Shout out another boss banger. The bangers are just great. Alright, so we go into this fight, 1 HP, 9 FP, it's fine, don't worry about it. We can make short work of all these guys. So, General Guy has a few different faces. He throws some different forms of Shy Guys at you. The first one was the Shy Stack. It had 15 HP, we did all of that right away, didn't even use any FP. And then General Guy actually shows his face in the battle. And then we have some stilt guys. And we're actually, you would normally not be able to do this in a casual playthrough because you get Power Quake in Chapter 5, but we already have it, and it works on them. And it just kills them if you're in peril, so that's nice. Alright, General Guy gonna throw out some Shy Stacks. Now, these guys have a little bit too much HP to kill them in one turn. But luckily... We can kill one of them. We can kill one at a time with a jump. So what we're gonna do... We're gonna do one of those, and then Watt can buy us another turn with Power Shock. It's a pretty easy mash right there. If you get it to 100%, it's guaranteed to work. And then we can just kill the next one. Alright, and then we actually fight General Guy, which... We're not able to deal enough damage in one turn to kill him, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw on this Repel Gel. Now, Repel Gels are super nice whenever you want to, you know, stay in peril without being knocked out so that you can rack up a bunch of damage. They do use up a turn, so you only want to use them whenever you just can't find any other way to deal enough damage, but it's super useful in this fight. Alright, you only need a 4 bounce here. Luckily, 4, you will always get at least 4 on General Guy. So you can never get screwed in this fight by RNG. Not in a way that kills you anyway. Alright, out of FP, so we're just going to hit him with a jump, which is still really good. You can see he has 2 defense. So, it's actually a lot to get through. But that does exactly 30 damage to him. Exact kill, used all of our FP. And boom, we're in there. And we got an upgrade, so we'll get some more FP. FP is super useful. Like you saw, we used all of our FP in that fight. So nice to have more. Okay, so the next section up here, I've been debating whether or not I should try and save beforehand. I practiced it. I did it a bajillion times in practice, and I never messed it up. If I messed it up, I would either have to watch the cutscene, which would lose like 7 minutes, or reset and fight again. Or I could go all the way back and save. But I shouldn't mess this up. We're going for it. Go big or go home, right? First try. Easy. Card LCS. Card has been touched. We're good. Now my heart rate can go back down. It's like the little things. It's not that hard. But, you know, in a setting like this, got me a little nervous. Alright, so we do have to make our way back out normally, though. It's, yeah, like, if we touched the card and we wanted to continue, we would have to bake the cake, which I think some people would be a fan of, but it's super slow. Don't really want to do that. Alright, so for those keeping track, we've now completed chapters 1, or gotten the cards at least, from chapters 1, 3, 4, and 5. And there is one more before we plant the seeds, so we're going to go ahead and go to chapter 2 next. In the meantime, before we do that, we're going to grab the last seed. We have 3 of them right now. This is just the best time to get it. Just the place it fits in easiest with the route. We're just going to make our way through. Oh, okay, Fuzzy was nice. Sometimes he's annoying. Another little thing that I'm doing, you might notice I am getting what are called spin cancels. Oh, okay, well, I got one of them. That was actually not very good. But the geometry lines up super well here in Forever Forest, that if you time your spins correctly, you'll hit the geometry in such a way that it will kind of immediately stop your spin. And you can just spin again right away, and you don't even have to jump. Those weren't very good for that, though. But I got one of them. You could at least see how it worked. Alright, so now we need to go to Chapter 2, and the fastest way to get there, the best way, is to go through the warp pipes. We have to fight Electro Blooper. That's fine. This fight is a little unintuitive. We're just gonna, you know, we're gonna size him up. Gonna not do anything. Gonna see how much it. Okay, he does 4. He does 4. Alright. Maybe do a little bit of a jump. Alright, 2. I like it. Oh, he's gonna electrify. You think I can do a little? Nope, that hurts me. Don't want to do that. Alright, we'll swap out to Parakarry. Oh, I think I was actually supposed to wait till next turn to do that. But okay, now we're in peril. See, it's all planned. Okay, I can't quite do enough damage. That's fine, because he's just gonna electrify now. When we can hit him with Parakarry. That knocks his electricity back off. And then if we hit him with a 4-cap. Boom. He did. He did. Exactly, it's all coming together. Alright, so that opens up warp pipes to Goomba Village, Koopa Village, and Dry Outpost. We only care about Dry Outpost. So, same deal as whenever we were in Chapter 4. Whenever we first entered Chapter 4, but the game considered us to be in a post-Chapter 5 state. The game still considers us to be in... It's technically kind of... it's kind of post-Chapter 4, but also kind of in the middle of Chapter 4. So... Basically what that means, normally what you're supposed to do in Chapter 2 is you're supposed to complete this long side quest and get the Pulse Stone to make these ruins appear, but they're just kind of already here, which is nice for us. Go ahead and save, lock in our progress. Wouldn't want to screw that up. But yeah, so this chapter's in a pretty funky state. This is not how you completed this casually. The sand is already down, but that key hasn't been taken. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that key. You'll notice we skipped a key. Or skipped a lock. Grab this other key that the sand is already dropped for. And then you're supposed to not have the Super Hammer yet. We already have the Ultra Hammer. So we can kind of just do this. We're in peril. So if we first strike this guy, that'll kill him. We're a little OP for Chapter 2 right now. Lots of practice, dude. Lots of practice. Been running it for over 2 years now. So that's good. Hopefully we don't get a heart drop. Okay. That's unfortunate. Okay, there's a backup though. We're fine. We're not in peril anymore, which I was hoping to avoid. That would be really annoying. We'll probably lose like 30 seconds or so to that, which would be annoying in a PB attempt, but it's fine. All right, gonna continue on. You might notice that the path down to Toot and Koopa is actually already opened. This sand is already dropped. We don't need to unlock that lock above. Yeah, we skipped the entire section above because we had extra keys. We were able to skip that section where you're normally supposed to fight. Okay, this is I mentioned we might need to use Eldstar. This is what I meant. Way back in Chapter 1. But yeah, this chapter is all kinds of messed up. And then so if I just do nothing, these guys do 3 damage each unblocked, and boom. Back in peril. Easy. And so we can do Untimed Power Quake, which is an insanely fast way to deal some damage to some grounded enemies. Luckily, that should be the only enemy that we really had a chance of having a heart drop land on us. Oops. Dude, having backups on deck is the best. Very, very useful. If you're speedrunning a game yourself and you don't have you don't know your backups, it's a bad situation. All right, so this might not make much sense. I already have the Ultra Hammer. Why am I getting the Super Hammer? It's shinier. It's silver. I like silver better. No, but what that did, that just so happens to be the fastest way. Same as in Chapter 4, whenever you grab the frying pan. Grabbing the Super Hammer is a trigger to set us back into a Chapter 2 state. So now, whenever I go back into the room where the path down to Toot and Koopa is, it will not be open, and then we'll be able to reopen it and go down there and actually fight Toot and Koopa. Thank you for the good luck, Damon. Much appreciated. Alright, normally, okay, so the route doesn't look quite as impressive whenever you use refresh. Normally I would only have 3 FP right here, and so we would be... It only takes 3 FP to kill Toot and Koopa. We have 8 though, so it doesn't look like it's as tightly routed as it is, but yeah, you can see now the path is closed. Wrangle, Star, Moon. Puts it back down. Much faster. Normally, if you're doing a glitchless playthrough, you have to get the Super Hammer, then you have to backtrack all the way back to the beginning. You also have to fight those, the mummy cacti. Just go ahead and save in case of any shenanigans. Alright. So yeah, he appears. Yeah, and the reason, if anyone was wondering why I was still able to break the blocks and like some of the things were still existing in Chapter 2. Some things are based on flags that are unrelated to the story, especially things that it doesn't matter what order you do them in. Like you can technically fight all of those, all of the what would they be, the pokies, the chain chomps, all the stone chomps. You can fight them in any order, so the game just treats them as separate flags unrelated to the story. And also, luckily, Chompy here. Chompy dies whenever Toot and Koopa dies, so easy fight. Alright, did not level up. Did not have any Fretcher fails. So that's Chapter 2. So we beat the chapters in the order 1, 3, 5, 4, 2. And then we're going to go to 6. That's how you count in Paper Mario. There are, what? 3 different categories, I think, that all use that chapter pattern. All bosses, all cards, all bosses, and 100%. I believe, are all the chapters that beat, all the categories that beat the chapters in that order. Okay, and then this is the last card LCS we'll be doing in the run. I'm just gonna go ahead and save. It's right here. There's no reason not to. Oops. think that's the first one I didn't get first try. Alright, but we got that. Touched the card. On our way. Yeah, if I was to touch the card incorrectly, like, say I actually didn't have the loading zone stored, or... what else could go wrong? You have to touch the card late enough in your jump that the cutscene doesn't take before you hit the ground. So if you mess either of those up, you'll still watch the cutscene, and that's bad. And it's especially bad, it actually completely ruins the route if you miss this one, because it would lower our Star Spirit power. You'll notice we still have a total of 5, which means most importantly, we have Starstorm, which is super useful in Chapter 6. Is Paper Mario going to be in Smash? Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Alright, so yeah, just making our way back. So we've touched the cards for the first 5 chapters. Only have 6 and 7 to go, and then of course we have to beat the game after that. So defeat Bowser, do chapter 8. So next on our list we have all 4 of the seeds. Yeah, we're big boy now, Alex. We're big boy. So we are going to go ahead and plant them. Also, this toad right up here that I'm going to be talking to, or right here, this is Minty. She's bae, that is all. Got that green thumb. Yeah, Paper Mario is a spirit. I think Shadow Queen is as well, if I'm not mistaken. My favorite companion in the speedrun, probably Parakarry. Parakarry is pretty sick. But as far as like casual play, definitely Watt. Watt's the one that I used most often. Yeah, not like there can't be a spirit and a main character, or an actual fighter, but you know. All right, so this plant. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. Very important, actually. No, it doesn't actually lose any time that I did that first. But what I need to do is I need to go in here. Okay, hang on. We're gonna lose some time, but it's fine. I was supposed to do that before I planted the seeds, but it's fine. So we're gonna enter chapter 6. This will put us back into a chapter 6 state. I actually made this mistake I did a practice run last night, and I made the same mistake. But I remembered later, so I know this works. And not enough. We need more. Why aren't there anybody asking for more Fire Emblem characters? Okay, so what I was supposed to do is get quick change before I actually entered chapter 6. I could probably get away with not getting it, but I don't want to chance that. Alright, so we're gonna have to actually talk to Merlon. Before we were in a chapter 2 state, so he wasn't waiting out here. And he wasn't gonna give us this cutscene, but it's fine. We can still go in. Alright, so ground pound 3 times. And voila! Quick change. There's like a little in-game cutscene that you're supposed to do, or like a little quest you're supposed to do to figure out how to do that, but you can actually do that as soon as you have upgraded boots. There's no check to make sure you've completed the quest. Alright, so now we're in chapter 6 in earnest. Actually doing it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save. Chapter 6 gets a bad rap. The music, I don't know. It's this music. It is what it is. This music right here is a banger. But unfortunately, in most categories that aren't any percent, there aren't a whole lot of glitches you can do. So your time save is going to come from really good movement and knowing that doing the route correctly, which I already messed up. Knowing how to manipulate. Oh wow, these are really far down. See, and sometimes their hitboxes are super weird. Alright. This is... Yeah, we're still in peril from chapter 2, but we're going to level up right here. Just this one dude. Yeah, this is BP. Okay, just making sure. Alright, so back to full stats. Not really what we want, though. Okay, so we're going to fight this mole. Go back to him. But we're actually going to do nothing twice. And these guys super conveniently put us right back in peril. and then we can go back down, do an untimed Power Quake. Luckily, Power Quake is not, the damage it does is unrelated to the upgrade of hammer you have. It's the, there's 3 different Quake hammer badges, and so that's the second one. So it always does that base damage, even if you had the normal hammer. Alright, gonna go ahead and... Oh wow, that was weird. His hitbox activated super late. I've never seen that. Gonna go ahead and kill these guys. Massive damage output. Also a minor thing that we're doing, because we're finishing with Bombett's Power Bomb, their death animation is overlapping with Bombett's animation, and so that saves a little bit of time. Alright, out of FP, but that's okay. I have a maple. Can go ahead and eat that. Okay. Moles weren't too bad. The first one was a little rough, but overall, pretty decent. Alright, and this will not be a level up. Okay, but all the moles taken care of. Petunia here is going to give us a bean. Yeah, the reason... We can actually skip, if you were to watch an any % run of this game, we would actually skip all the way straight to Lackey. We can immediately get him. But that skips all of these key items that we need to grab throughout the chapter. And then you would get to the part where you plant the vine, and you would have nothing to plant. So that's not really going to work. Okay, so I need to eat a whack right here. A whack is bump. Those are coming into play. Also going to change some badges. Now we have quick change equipped. That'll come into play later. Alright, and then these dudes, these flowers, they like to eat the berries that are the same color as them. I don't know if that's cannibalism or what, but that's what they like. So we have to come get this berry. We came in here just for the yellow berry. This room is kind of tough to avoid. Those bees are rough. You know, you would think. Maybe he should, but you know what? You can offset all of the extra sugar that Mario is eating by donating to the I keep forgetting the full name of it. The Diabetes Prevention and Aid Fund. I don't want to get that wrong. Exclamation point donate to find out how. Or the link is right there. Dude, flawless transition. Okay, so we are... Chapter 6 is a little bit heavy on backtracking, which is why movement is so important. So what's going on here? So you may have noticed there's no sun. Everything's super cloudy and all dreary. And we need to help some people out. Lily here needs the water stone so that she can have her lake back. Oops. So we want to help her with that. So we need to talk to her, find that out. Oh, also, this gap right here, this one that I'm flying over right now, you can technically make that jump without paracarry, but it is A, frame perfect, and B, A, frame perfect, and B, sometimes the frame to jump doesn't exist. Just depending, it's not quite sub-pixel movement, but it kind of is. Just sometimes you get unlucky, so really you'll never really see that RT. Okay, we made it here. We got these Lakitus. They're gonna try and fight us. Unfortunately, can't take them all out in one turn, so we're just going to we're gonna take care of them. Every category fights them a slightly different way. For here, we're just going to hit them. I'm gonna take out the first one. They have a lot of HP. They have 12. But luckily, we can take them out. Or take one out. Okay, so our blocks aren't gonna matter. So that guy can either attack you or throw another Spiny out. Doesn't matter too much which one he does. But now we are going to attack this one for 6. And then with Mario, we're going to hit him with the Star Storm. So this is why we needed to make sure that we didn't fail the Chapter 2 card LZS, because if we did, then we would no longer have Star Storm, because it would actually downgrade our Star Spirit after the cutscene. And also we attacked with Paracarry first to overlap all the death animations, so it's overall faster. Alright, and this is BP. Okay, but now, I'm gonna run around in this maze. There's just, it's supposed to, you know, it's supposed to be hard to figure out where to go. But, you know, speed running, we already know where it is. Luckily, it's always the same. It's not random or anything. And this, Rosie is the worst flower in the game. She has the water stone for Lily. She has it right there. But she She wants something pretty. So vain. SMH. So she won't give it to us. Could have been nice, but no. So we gotta make our way back. Oh, and another thing, so right there, that movement that I did, I don't know, I kind of talked about it in Forever Forest, but if you hold the control stick at a certain angle, and it's easier in certain rooms than others, but if you hold the control stick at a certain angle, you can get a spin cancel where you are spinning into the wall so it stops your spin, but you're also not kind of spinning at an angle to it, so you get to keep moving, and it lets you, it can be faster in certain situations. So that's what I was doing in that room, how I was able to spin and then immediately spin right after. All right, but what's her name? Posey. That's Posey. Rosie and Posey. She just gave us something pretty out of the kindness of her heart. The complete opposite of Rosie. Something pretty to replace it, and also the fertile soil. Yeah, that right there. Spin cancel. That was really, like, that's really good movement through that room. Oops. Luigi and Rosie. Yeah, Luigi. I don't know how you guys feel about Luigi, but at least in the Paper Mario series, I don't know, man. Yeah, someone's literally dying. Don't care. Pretty. Also, she doesn't even, unless she sees the crystal berry, she's like, I'll get this ugly water stone away from me. I don't even like it. It's like, bruh. Gimme. Why are you like this? But it's fine. We're going. We got the water stone. That's what we came for. That's what we wanted from Lily. Okay, so backtracking, almost done. Making our way back in here. It is actually important. We don't want to take any damage here because the fight we're going to do against Lackluster, Spike, Lackey, whatever you want to call him. We need to be at full HP to fight him. I mean, we could come up with some backup if we needed to. But... Alright, so there we go. Plant the water stone, makes the water appear. And everything's good. Still no sun in the sky, but we're taking care of things one by one. So Lily is going to give us the... I forget exactly what it's called. Some kind of water. Some kind of water in a watering can. Magic water. It kind of is that way, yeah, like Alice in Wonderland. I can see that. Alright, so there we go. Waterstone placed. Water. I don't know if anyone reads Japanese. I could see it very briefly there. Alright, so this isn't something that I would normally do in a run. Technically what you're supposed to do right here is grab the bubbleberry and then give it to the bubbleberry up ahead. But this is a marathon. And we wanna be entertaining here. Not lackluster. He's very not lackluster. He's kind of the most OP partner in the game as far as glitches go. But I am going to do a trick that's usually only done in 80%. It is faster in this category, but only if you get it like first, maybe second try. So hang on. Okay, that should be good. Let's go. Okay, that was early Lackey. That was early Lackey. Those were all frame perfect jumps. Loading zone storage to skip getting and using the bubbleberry. I usually don't go for that in runs unless it's any percent. But let's go. I think that saved like 8 seconds. Although like 17-ish frame perfect jumps to save 8 seconds. Oh, we got top step too. This is the run, chat. It's actually not, but that's fine. Literally a pro gamer. Alright. Making sure I didn't forget anything. Don't need to change badges. Right, we got Paracarry out. No Sun Tower skip. I'm not that crazy. That saves like 15, but it's way harder than that. Only one frame perfect input, but it's like a blind input. Alright, so what we gotta do here... This is Lackluster. Last partner, he's the only one we don't have. Gotta block all these attacks. Alright, good. In some categories, we'll actually intentionally damage down to 9 HP before the fight and let him hit us twice. But it actually works out better in this category and our damage output to do it this way. Okay. Okay, good. You can get 4-capped there, but you just back it up with a shell shot if that happens. Alright, good. That was a really good split. That would be a new gold for me if I was running splits like that. Alright. So, Lackalulu, she's... I forget exactly what's going on here, but I don't think she's too happy that Lacky's coming with us. But she'll actually throw something. No, wait, maybe she is happy. She wants us to go. I can't remember exactly. Imagine knowing the lore of your speedrun. But she'll actually throw Spinies at you if you say no to him joining your party. Alright. Get around this bee. That bee is really annoying. But luckily... Okay, that was good. Yeah, he doesn't want us to hurt. Okay, so we'll... It's just smart to save, especially in a marathon. There's no reason not to. It takes like 2 seconds. But yeah, now we can solve this puzzle. We needed Lackey to go around and be able to hit these different platforms. And we'll get to how busted Lackey is later. It's kind of fitting that he's the last partner you get, because he's probably the most broken partner of all of them. And you'll see why. Lots of clipping and out of bounds and all that. Do you forgive him? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Oh, this run's pretty good, actually. Especially considering it's in a marathon. No, this run is actually going really well. Alright, another reason... Or not another reason. So I mentioned that it's super nice that we are not skipping bow. So we can do this fight. So if we combine... Like these guys, it's... The Lakitus have 12 HP, and the yellow Magikoopa I think has 11. So you just can't deal enough damage in one turn. Not without ultra ranked partners and things. But yeah, we can just out of sight and not die, which is nice. We actually don't care about peril too much right now, but the not dying part is nice. Alright, so we dealt 5. Just hit him with a Star Storm. Part's actually like... Oh, wow. Usually that's a lot more laggy. I don't know why it wasn't. Yeah, Starstorm is really good at, 7 damage to every enemy on field is really good. It is a kind of a slow move, so we try to avoid using it when possible, but sometimes it is the fastest option. Alright, so this machine, the reason they were even guarding it, this machine is causing all of the clouds to appear. It's the reason that the sun is not in the sky. But now we broke it, so we're good. Everybody's happy. The sun can go back in the sky. And the music gets better. The music is actually kind of good now. So if anyone was like, falling asleep, now we're chilling. We're mad chilling. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is go fight a big ol' meanie Huff and Puff. Probably best buds with, I don't know, the wolf from the, what is it, the 3 Little Pigs? Yeah, praise the sun. Literally the Dark Souls of Paper Mario games. Hoggers. Alright. That was a bad joke, I'm sorry. Oh, little fun glitch we can do, if you can call it that. We hop on Lackey right here, and then eat the whacker right there. We can overlap the eating animation and the planting animation. So that's fun. Beautiful. You have to spice up chapter 6 somehow. But no, This is overall pretty good. All right, so Huff is the next boss that I mentioned before. You can kind of just get screwed and die sometimes. Lantern Ghost was the first one. This is the second one. Eventually, we're going to do a power bounce, and if we get 3 capped, which there is a 2% chance of it happening, we would just die. So that's something that you'd have to deal with. If you're doing a PB attempt, you're probably not going to save, unless you're just that far ahead. But in this situation, as long as I save, it's not the end of the world. Oops. So yeah, we should be good. Oh, bad angle. This is kind of a long animation, but even in the any % run, so there's a badge up here. This is the last piece to our like Omega Ultra damage dealing badge setup. Even in any %, they actually ride this the whole way up and watch this big log cutscene just for this badge. And also a little minor time save. I think it saves like half a second. So we need to get on that cloud over on the left. It's actually faster to leave the room and come back. It just resets the cloud to be on a slightly faster cycle. Go ahead and change to Bow. She's the next partner we need. Alright, super jump charge. Alright, so we're gonna take off power jump, equip super jump charge immediately, and then also power quake because we'll need it later. Yeah, Huff and Puff. So whenever we're routing for Huff and Puff. Right, so actually, I should explain what super jump charge does. For 4 FP, it gives us +3 damage to our next jump attack. And so if we chain these together, just do a whole bunch of charging. And then also we have Bow, so we can out of sight and not get hit by this wind. Gives us another turn to charge. But we can do some a pretty massive output of damage. Oh yeah, but routing Huff, if you ever hit him with like even the slightest move, what he'll do is he'll have little clouds that come out. And like they'll heck you up, and it's also super slow. So ideally, you'll kill him in one turn, like this. Okay, we got 4 capped. That's fine. That's why we have quick change. So we're just gonna swap to Paracarry. He has a little bit of HP left, and he's dead. That's all. Yeah, 4 caps are pretty common. All right, and we level up here. I believe this is HP. Yes. Okay, just making sure. It's pretty bad if you it's actually pretty bad if you accidentally level up the wrong thing. Yeah, we have experience pretty tightly routed throughout this route. This one is specifically based on RNG. You can level up in a couple different places, but we have it worked out to where it's fine no matter where. It is very cool. It's probably a lot easier than I know. A lot of people have trouble with Huff casually. So it's a much easier and much faster way to kill him. Yeah, it's super OP. Why do you do HP instead of FP? So we're starting to get into a part of the game where enemies are dealing more than about 5 damage. So like you saw with Huff, with 2 attacks right there, what he was able to do is we were able to block 1 so that it did 4, and then the next one did 5. We start having trouble doing it that way with 10 HP on the later bosses. So it works out better for pretty much the rest of the game to have 15, to where usually you can work it out to where you can take 7 damage twice, and that'll put you down to 1 HP. For those who might not have known, like, or who haven't caught it from the beginning, I currently have on the Mega Rush badge, which makes it so that whenever I have exactly 1 HP, or I'm in peril, it gives me +4 attack. So in pretty much every situation, we want to get down into peril. OMG, I know Red Hawk. Yeah, but it just works out that this is the best place to upgrade that. Alright, so this is where we're using the Sneaky Parasol. Like I said, this is literally Super Mario Odyssey. Odyssey is a ripoff of this game, TBH. Yeah, copy the Magic Koopa. Walk all the way to one end of the castle. Walk all the way back to the other end of the castle. Then walk all the way back to the first end of the castle. It's great. No way to skip it. For those who might be wondering why we didn't do card LCS on that specific card, So because we were able to just, you know, touch the card and not get it. That worked in previous instances because we were able to trigger the next chapter at other means. Unfortunately for chapters 7 and 8, there is no way to trigger them other than either beating the previous chapter or doing a glitch. Actually, it's a glitch that we will do, but for a different reason, called Peach Warp, which lets you kind of beat a chapter automatically. But if you were to do the chapter 6 card LZS, the game, you'll have touched the card and the card will be gone. Not to mention it's like an insanely hard one where you have to jump upstairs and no thank you. Much harder than a normal one and much longer. Oh, I think he just meant haha. Typo. But if you did that, you would still technically be in chapter 6 just with the card gone, and then the only way to get to chapter 7 would be to do a Peach Warp, and then you would have to just watch this cutscene anyway, so it's faster to just watch this cutscene. Nah, Twink isn't suspicious at all. My headcanon is that they just think that Twink is this club's prisoner. It satisfies my it satisfies my lore, my head. I already said headcanon, but yeah. All right, so we successfully didn't accidentally press B and untransform at a bad time. That would be unfortunate. It was kind of funny. I thought so. Okay, so coming up, I should start explaining what we're going to be doing because things are going to get a little wild. So we could just beat chapter 6. And the next thing that we need to do, we need to get the Ultra Boots and then get into chapter 7. We are not going to do either of those things the way that you would probably expect. For the Ultra Boots, they are locked behind 2 blocks. One, a super block, silver block, metal block, I don't know. One that requires your super hammer, which we have the super hammer, we're fine. But yeah, that's just it. We have the super hammer. We don't have the ultra hammer because we downgraded in chapter 2. And the block afterward is an ultra block. So we have to do a glitch. This is the only ultra block we're required to get through after we downgrade. We're going to do a glitch known as Clippy Boots, which is... It's a fairly difficult trick. I usually don't have too much trouble with it. It might take me a couple tries. We'll see. There's also a minor chance of me soft locking, so I'm going to go ahead and save over here, just to be safe. But basically what happens, I am going to... You hear the word frame perfect come up a lot in this game, because a lot of the tricks are frame perfect. But I am going to attempt to frame perfectly open the partner menu at the same time that I am encountering an enemy. And so what that'll do is it will kind of, in memory, force me off of... I'll be riding Lackey at the time. So in memory, I will be forced off Lackey, but I will actually stay on him. And so I'll be able to sort of get off Lackey twice. All right, let me go for it. All right, nice, first try. Okay, and run away. So I'll get off him twice, which puts me in a weird state where Mario... It's called Clippy. Mario has the same hitbox that he does. Oops, on Lackey. So it lets me get on top of this block. I'm a little worried. Okay, no, that was perfect. That was perfect. So what just happened? I was able to get on top of that block because I had the same hitbox that I have whenever I am on Lackey. And then whenever I'm in that state, it also has the weird property where if I try and hop on Lackey again, what it does is it immediately puts me on Lackey. There's no, like, animation. And, oops, that was weird. It immediately puts me on Lackey, and it warps me... Okay, let's see. Make sure I get this right. It warps Lackey to my X and Z coordinate, but then it warps me down to Lackey's Y coordinate. And so if I position it just right like I did, it ends up putting me behind the block. And so... Clippy Boots. You skip behind it. And so now I have the Ultra Boots, and did not need to use the Ultra Hammer to get it. Next thing, we need to go to Chapter 7. Why am I going to Chapter 5? Didn't we already beat this chapter? Yes. Yes, we did. But we are going to do a glitch called Peach Warp, which I alluded to earlier. First thing, we need to get to the end of the chapter. It's a little bit easier and faster now that we have Lackey. We can just like ride on the lava. Yeah, a remake would be great. Spin down through here. It's already completed, so we can just run through. Don't have to watch any cutscenes or anything. Although that's still, for some reason, that appears every single time you're in this room. Not sure. You'd think that they would have made it just a one-time thing, but no, every time. And it's actually faster to wait on this and spin across than it is to try and ride Lackey the whole way. Alright. So I'm gonna just show, I'll take a quick like 2-3 second time loss to show you guys what we're dealing with here. So in this room, if I was to try and go down here, there's lava. It's blocking us from going down. So what I'm going to do, and this is how Lackey, part of another reason why Lackey is so broken, if you get in just the right position, oops, that wasn't quite right. Come on. There we go. Whenever you hop on Lackey, you actually kind of teleport backwards and up a little bit. So you can use that to get out of bounds in certain locations. And then also I'm going to do a Lackey teleport here. I do it right. There we go. Where if you hop on Lackey and then hop off of him at just the right time, also frame perfect, yeah, no big deal, it will let you, and I'll just do that for fun. But if you hop on Lackey and then hop off at just the right time, Lackey will be kind of like zooming back to you, and whenever he's in the middle of doing that, if you hop on him on just the right frame, he'll kind of continue moving and it'll like push you past the walls. So there's like, that's already 3 different glitches, separate types of glitches that we've done with Lackey, and we're not even done using him. So yeah. So technically what just happened is, according to the game, oh yeah, I didn't even explain what that does. So that got us back into an area of the game that you're clearly not supposed to be able to get back to normally. You're only ever intended to get there once after you beat Chapter 5. Yep, Steve. Once after you beat Chapter 5. So they never bothered to specify what would happen if you were in a later state, like a later story state in the game. So what that area is programmed to do if you get back there is it is like, okay, you just beat the chapter you're in, which is normal, which is normally Chapter 5 under ordinary circumstances. But we were technically in a post-Chapter 6 state. So it's just like, oh, you beat the chapter you're in, which is Chapter 7. You just beat Chapter 7. Congratulations. And so this is the Peach cutscene that plays after you beat Chapter 7. Which is super convenient for us, because look where you come out. We just beat Chapter 7. Perfect. So what we're going to do now, we luckily, you know, we still need to touch the card. We didn't do that yet. So if we were doing any percent, we could just go run to Chapter 8 right now and beat it. But lucky for us, entering the Crystal Palace is a trigger to put you back into Chapter 7. Just so happens to work out that way. So now we entered this room, where now we're in Chapter 7. It put us back. So we can beat it like normal. We don't have to do anything tricky like grab the super hammer or grab the frying pan or anything like that. And that skips the entire beginning, much to my dismay. That skips the section with the penguins. The bumpties. Alright, so next thing we're going to do, more Lackey shenanigans. Now, if we go over here and we kind of push Lackey from the start, he remembers where he was. He remembers that starting position that he was in. So we can do another Lackey teleport. Nice. So that just clipped us over to the other side. That's a mirror clip. Even though it's technically not a mirror, but I guess we don't find that out. But yeah, I just clipped to the other side. This game is pretty wild, yeah. All this different stuff that's in it. Like, it's... at the beginning, it was a little slow at, you know, explaining what was going on, because it was like a bunch of cutscenes. But you get to this part of the game, and I'm just non-stop explaining, this is what's going on, this is what we're trying to do. This is this broken mechanic. It gets pretty wild. The Paper Mario series in general, like, the 1000-Year Door is, even though it's a direct sequel to this game and uses, I'm pretty sure that it's based on the same engine. It's different enough that the glitches in that game are just entirely different. Still lots of sequence breaking all over the place and whatnot, but it's in a very different way. Even Super Paper Mario is pretty busted. Not quite to the extent that the first two are, but still. So what clipping to that mirror did is, well, it skipped a fight with the Duplighosts. There's normally supposed to be 2 Duplighosts that you encounter because, oh, you figured out how to get to the other side. But we just skipped their trigger, so we can get down here. These are technically Duplighosts here. Luckily, we always know you're supposed to figure out which one is the real one based on what they say. I think you can see that one has hearts. You can even see it in the Japanese. This one, I don't remember. Exclamation points maybe. And this one, I don't know. I don't remember what was different. But this is the real one. That's the real bomb. We get a kiss. It's good. Oh, and okay. Sorry, I missed this a few. All right, sorry, Birdist. I have been so focused on the game. Thank you for the $10 donation. My bad. Bad streamer. All right, but that gave us the key. Let's get through the red door. And now there are these 3 clubbers. Who knows casual play? Alright, so these clubbers, there is no way to skip this that we know of, other than skipping the chapter entirely. So you kind of just have to fight them. Luckily it works out, like for instance the first one, that Magikoopa always runs away if it's the only one. That's not the case for every Magikoopa in the game, but it is for that one. Alright, and then this clubber though, it's actually kind of funny. We are going to use the Star Spirit that you get from beating this chapter to help us beat this chapter. Yeah, sorry for the delay. That's my bad. Alright, hopefully it works. Good, okay. It's a 95% chance to work on each enemy. But sometimes you still get hacked. Not a huge deal. We can still use Paracarry to use up and away. But oh, another thing that I want to point out. Oh wait, what? The fight here, yes. Okay, making sure that was the item. Actually kill these guys. We're doing these fights a certain way to make sure that our experience ends up exactly where we want it. So gotta kill the right enemies. Alright, and then that is not a level up. Okay. Okay, watch, I have 37 coins right now, by the way. I got 1 coin. I meant to point this out earlier. Now I have 39. Weird thing about that room, and I guess if you don't believe me, you can check the VOD, but weird thing about that room is that the coins in it for some reason count for double? I don't know why. I don't know if anyone's ever like really looked into it, but all of those coins that you get count for 2 times. Oh, also you might notice that because we never actually revealed that the other side isn't actually isn't a mirror. Sometimes Mario just appears on the other side where he's not supposed to. It's not supposed to happen anymore. Also, this quiz, or not this quiz, this puzzle, I don't know how you're supposed to know which one's real. I mean, it's a little too hard for me. I'm just gonna skip it. It's too hard. I don't know, Chad. Which one did you think was real? I have no idea personally. All right. Yeah, like see right here, I'm just passing through my own reflection. Game did not intend for you to be here in this way. Yeah, just 2 models to appear, basically. Hidden block, jam and jelly, super nice, plus 50 FP. We never even get close to having 50 FP, so. Also, this badge right here, we come actually all the way over here just to get it. All the way down here. Oh, all the way down here. That's P up, D down. So that gives us +1 power at the cost of 1 defense. And as long as we route things well, which we have, the route is already planned out. That +1 damage is really, really nice. Like, you combine that with what we're already doing with Power Bounce and Mega Rush and Super Jump Charge. And yeah, it gets us into some... It can give us some really good damage output. Alright, so we're just running around here. Part of the gimmick, I guess I never specifically mentioned it, part of the gimmick of this dungeon, I guess, is that if you do things on one side, like the top or the bottom, it affects things on the other side. So by pushing that statue up top, it had opened it up so that we could get down in the hole down here. So like this statue was covering up that hole before I pushed the statue on the other side. Alright. And then right here, gonna go ahead and prep for the next fight. Swap to Watt. This chapter is super cool. Alright, so now you have to, the same thing here. You have to look and see which direction the statues on the bottom are facing so that you can push the top ones. And you change their direction by talking to them. Who plays casually? What's a casual experience? Okay, this is going super well so far. The run, I think we have a little bit, probably have like a little extra time. So I'm going to take a slight time loss to do this. So one thing that they never bothered to, I guess, account for is if I push this back down here, and then I turn this around. For some reason, you push this like that, Mario just goes, yeah, he goes flying. That's the thing. Swag jump. Alright, we're gonna get the heart block. We're gonna save, because here is Crystal King. Okay, yeah, we're good. Didn't need to do any badge equips or anything. So Crystal King is... This guy has so much HP. He has 70 HP. Which, I mean, I guess this is the second to last chapter of the game. But it's still a lot. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. So he's got these bits. He's got these crystal bits out. They only have 1 HP, but they kind of pack a punch. So we're gonna take 1 out. We're gonna block 2 of them. So somebody asked earlier why we upgrade our HP. It's to make doing a fight like this a bit easier, giving us time to charge while we can also get back down into peril without having to take too many turns or use like repel gels or out of sight more than we need to or anything. Alright, so that, we blocked those first 2. Knock another bit out there. These guys will do 4 each if I don't block them. So that puts us in peril. Still have 1 turn left where I can charge. I can do nothing here. Alright, so we have 4 out of 20 FP left. Good number. We power bounce. Alright, nice. We got a good cap. Actually could have kept going. Didn't even cap me. But yeah, that's how you take care of Crystal King in a speedrun. Very, very hardcore. Another thing that I didn't really mention earlier about why charging and killing enemies in 1 turn is super good is most, keyword most, of the bosses in this game have different phases based on how much HP they have left. And usually their earlier phases are way easier to predict. Like, it's usually just like 1 move that they keep doing over and over or something like that. And so if we're able to kill them before they get down into their lower phases, it's super good for us. So like Crystal King there, I think it's not exactly, but around when he has half of his HP left, he starts doing some crazy things like splitting into 3, and some of them aren't actually the real Crystal King. Sometimes you can, or sometimes he'll hit you with ice and try and freeze you. He has a move, he can just heal. So yeah, avoiding that one. Oh, avoiding that type of stuff is nice. It's just like, what's going on? Also, deja vu. Didn't we watch this Peach cutscene already? Dude, Crystal King in my casual playthrough was the... I don't know why I didn't have trouble with Huff. I know a lot of people do. I think I beat him first try. Maybe second. But Crystal King, I remember, took me a lot of tries. I don't know why him specifically. I probably kept getting frozen or something. Also, he kind of comes out of nowhere. Nobody talks about him in the game. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm the boss guarding the Star Spirit. Deal with it. Right, but yes, we have now completed the objective of all the cards in the game. The category is all cards. We now have all the cards. No, it's just you, Pepsi. It's just you. totally didn't already do this. But yeah, so now we can run to Chapter 8. Now it's a race just to finish the game. And so we're in a pretty good position. We have some level ups. We have some upgraded partners. Good badges, which is nice. It's nice actually having resources in the endgame, because you don't have that in some categories, like any percent. Any percent you go into Chapter 8 at level 2, which is, it's kind of an RNG fest. And kind of is an understatement. But, oops. Alright, just kind of avoiding enemies on the way back down. Yeah, completing the chapter to complete the chapter, exactly. It's a little repetitive and redundant. Alright, also, super nice, there is a repel gel over here. That will come in handy later. Jump around these, the Lickitungs. Actually, Gulpits, but TBH, they're Lickitungs. Alright. Alright, other thing we need to... Oops, get in the pipe. It's right there. Last thing we need to do before we go to Chapter 8, we need to go over here. There is an upgrade block here. Gonna upgrade to Sushi. A lot of the stuff we're doing is just preparation for Final Bowser. We need upgraded Sushi for one move, Water Block. We need that Repel Gel for Bowser. It's a lot of prep. Luckily, Final Bowser, like all of these bosses, Crystal King was another boss that had a 2% chance to 3-cap us and probably kill us, unless there is technically a backup that I can kind of pull out, but actually I don't think it would have worked. I don't think I had enough FP in this category. But yeah, we are making our way back. There's only one more boss that could kill us outside of my control, and that's Junior Troopa, who you'll remember we skipped earlier, and he was mad about it. And we haven't seen him since we saw him post Chapter 1, and he's really mad about it now. He doesn't like being skipped. But yeah. Completing Chapter 7 and watching the Peach cutscene is the trigger to make this path right here appear. Really, unfortunately, it's not the case of there being, like, there's not some hidden loading zone you can get to if you like go up high enough in the sky. It unfortunately doesn't work that way, so you have to beat Chapter 7 to get here. Yeah, I'm having a good time. And the runners before me had some really good runs, so. Alright, so now we're making our way up here. Also, hang on, I'll get past them. I'm trying to aggro them and immediately lose their attention. Nice, that was actually really good. That way I can get right by them. Yeah, reminder though. Just a reminder. This is, it started at 1 o'clock Eastern today. But this that you're watching right now is a marathon. A 10-hour marathon from 1 to 11. For the, it's benefiting the Diabetes Prevention and Aid Fund. So if you wanted to donate to that, which you totally should because it's a super good cause, exclamation point donate in the chat. We'll get you that link. Alright. So now we're getting, so we have all 7 Star Spirits saved. Technically, you only need to save the last one, and then it thinks that you saved all of them. But, not important. So because we have all of them and we came here, we just got the Peach Beam ability. Or no, sorry, we got the Star Beam ability, my bad. Peach Beam is later. Star Beam will not be enough, we'll come to find. But that's okay. So now we can go to Chapter 8. Little known thing, I don't think that a lot of people know. Starbeam is not just useful on Bowser. It also has the, I don't know if it's hidden. It might actually say in the item menu, or in the menu. I don't really know, and I can't really check right now because it's Japanese. But if you use the Starbeam on any enemy that has some kind of status effect, like it's charged an attack or something like that, it'll actually completely clear the charge. So it's, and it doesn't even take any star power to use, it's free.
So, like, one thing we weren't sure if it would work, but we tested. Super Blooper. Super Blooper is the third blooper that you fight in the sewers. Has a move where it charges up red, and then it deals out like a ton of damage. If you go and fight him when you have Starbeam, you can just take away his charge with it. Kind of wild. I mean, it's probably better in most situations, probably to use out of sight, you know, casually. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. That's fine though. We're leveling up anyway. Actually, that should probably save. Now that I think about it. Okay. Okie doke. Alright, this is an FP upgrade. Yo, we got the actual definition. Let's go. Oh, does it actually say that? Maybe I just never read it as a kid. I never knew. Actually, that's probably useful. Some people might be aware. I've never played it myself, but people are probably aware of the ROM hack, Pro Mode, and Master Quest. I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty useful for those two. People who have played that are probably more aware that that's a thing than I was. Alright, so this is the first door. We need to get past him. Luckily, his trigger is just... You just have to come back to this room. It doesn't matter how you get back to this room. The way you're supposed to do this... What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to complete... You're supposed to dry the lava in the basement. Gonna grab this life from here. Just for safety. Hopefully won't need it, but... Dude, we're getting there. We're getting there, EBN. I'll save the next one. Yeah, you're supposed to go over and harden the lava, hit a switch to harden the lava and get through, but that's kind of slow. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go all the way over here, which you're supposed to... There's a badge over here. Also, speed boost. Very fast. Very important. Very important to the run. It is kind of a long run. This is true. What are we at right now? 2.5 hours, yeah. Oh, man. Get the raid from Cheese. Cheese's run is next after mine. If you guys are excited for that. Right after mine, he's up. Alright, but what we're going to do right here... Yeah, thank you for the raid, Cheese. Alright, so if we just kind of stand in the right spot and spin jump, we just kind of clip up through that block, and then we can use paracarry to get over top of that wall, and that just gets us right back. Oh. And so we can just skip the entire basement section. Yo, how you guys doing? How was Cheese's raid? Or how was Cheese's stream? And yeah, he's just like, yeah, you made it back. Keep going. Yeah, it is weird. That is, so there's 3 deep focuses in the game, and that one just for some reason has a different sprite. No apparent reason, but... Other than they forgot, probably. Alright, next section here. This is the flood room. Normally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go back and forth, changing the different water levels in the room. That's slow. Okay, we do it once. We do change the water level once. It was great. Yo, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. I'm sure he's prepping for his run now. Alright, so we're going to go over here. Remember how I said Lackey's broken? Yeah, he lets Mario beat Jesus. We're walking on the water. And then you can just clip back and bounce. Clip back and bounce. Hit the switch to open that hole in the wall. Clip back out. Whoops. Clip back out of bounds. Clip back in bounds, except we're kind of also out of bounds. We're going to swap to Cooper. We're going to fall out of bounds to get to the end. To get to the edge, we're going to spin over here. We're still out of bounds. Going to jump around. Go pop back up over here. We're going to do what's called a Cooper super jump to fly in the air and grab the key and fall back through the floor. Anytime that you fall out of bounds, until the next time you change Y position, you actually have a Cooper super jump stored that lets you just fly in the air the next time you use Cooper. And then we just clip back out of bounds the same way. Now we're breathing underwater. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then now we just got the cheese raid. We're gonna do a trick known as cannonless. Definitely an original trick name that has not been used in any other game ever that lets us skip the cannons and just kind of fall out of bounds. See these cannons? Well, they don't see me. Very, very original trick name. Yeah, I'm just gonna go around them all. Don't need them. Don't care about them. Alright, hopefully this guy cooperates. Okay, okay, he did. Sometimes that guy gets you, and it's unfortunate. Alright, so now it's just a matter... Yeah. It's not a huge deal. I mean, I'm at 15 out of 15 HP, and there's a heart block right there. But it's annoying. Alright, gonna draw this guy over here. Gonna kind of go around here. This way he never gets us. Yeah, totally not. The most non-explanatory glitch ever. I mean, I've already explained how hopping on Lackey lets you clip out of bounds. It's just kind of the same thing. Yeah, the Lackey skip, basically. That was kind of a texture setup, actually. Yeah, I was looking for a specific pixel on the wall to be lined up at it. It's pretty close to a frame-perfect trick. Oh, right, Woko Clip, you're right. Alright, so here, this is a quiz. If I was doing an all bosses run, we would have to fight, if you fail this quiz, there are 3 anti-guys that each have 50 HP that come out and you have to fight them. We fight them in all bosses, but in this category we don't. Oh, what it actually does for you, okay. Yeah, I mean, it skips the cannons. Alright, lucky for us, you don't need to know Japanese here. The answers are always the same. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So you can almost mash A through the whole thing. Almost. You gotta pay a little bit of attention. Alright. How are you guys doing? This is the last little bit of well, not the last little bit, but it is the last little bit of downtime before like the end game bosses. What's up, guys? Dude, they will beat you up. It's actually a really high reset point in an all bosses run, and it's about 3 hours in. So it's kind of hard because you have to the strat if you're trying to go for a world record attempt is to use Dizzy Shell on all 3 and stun them, and you have to your mash has to be nearly perfect. Yeah. Unless you're in all bosses. Yeah. But yeah, we're just answering quiz questions. This part is kind of ruined for me if I was ever going to play it casually because I just know the answer. I can't unknow it. Doing alright, thanks for asking. Hope you guys are having a good day. It's been a good marathon. Been some good runs, good runners. It's a good time. Alright, last one. Last one. 4 something. Was that the 4 hands answer? I think that was 4 hands. Anyway. On we go. Oh, we're going. We're doing this thing. Alright, so now we're just maneuvering around, jumping up. There's a jam and jelly there. We don't need it. They're trying to get us. They lost track of us already. Alright. That's... I wish there was a save block later. That's the last save before Junior Troopa. Also, music gets more intense right here. Kind of sick. But yeah, since technically you can die to Junior with nothing you can do about it, good to save there in a marathon, but ideally there'd be one later. The estimated finish was a 3:05. I'm pretty sure I'm on pace to do much better than that, but just based on, I haven't been looking at the clock. I don't remember what my normal split times are, but I'll lure this guy around. Just based on how well, it's gone pretty well, I'd say. Alright, and then here, you just are supposed to go, this is like the endless hallway, but it tells you right at the beginning how to get through, just up, down, down, up, down, up. Always the same. Even if I get a 3 cap, probably. I might have enough FP to try and power shock him if that happens anyway. Not sure. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't happen. It's only a 2% chance to happen. Although it could. It is technically a possibility. Alright, that's the last room of enemies. I think I didn't have any unwanted encounters the entire run. If I'm not mistaken. Alright. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. Nope. Yo, it's Princess Peach! JK, no it's not. Not actually. It's actually a Dupla Ghost. Okay, hopefully this cooperates. If not, it's not that bad. But hopefully it does. Alright, so we're going to use up and away again. Which, again, has a 95% chance to work on each enemy. But I mean, the chances of it failing on at least one are what, like... Okay, we're good. The chances of it failing on at least one are whatever... I don't know. Math. 0.95 to the fourth. 1 over that or something. I don't know. Alright, what? Yes, that is all. Okay. Just double checking. Yeah, got jebaited, dude. Dude, it's the Koopa Bros again! We're gonna fight him, I remember you. Except, not really. Would be nice to fight him again, but no. Junior Troopa, he angry. He's an angry egg, dude. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna charge. We're gonna Electro Dash. Just a little bit of damage. Do 4, feel him out. Alright, he does see what I meant about like doing 7. Alright, and this is one fight where it's super nice to have bow and not skipper. So we can do that. We can add a sight. That buys us another turn of charging. And then we can charge again. Dude, it did. Alright, now we're in peril. And then we're gonna go for a 5 cap. Okay, nice. That's really good. Because a 3 cap is your dead, which is only 2% chance. But a 4 cap is about a 34-ish, something like that, % chance. And if it happens, you lose like 30 seconds, which is kind of unfortunate. Alright, so now we need to eat a gem and jelly. We need to do some badges. Okay, good. So what I just did, I took Super Jump Charge off because we're done with it. Power Quake off, we're done with it. We put P up D down back, or we put it on, and we put Power Jump on. We're gonna go ahead and save. I said go ahead and save. Yeah, no, I'm glad you were able to watch it, and it's a really cool run. Highly recommended. It's a really fun speed game. Yeah, that was a good RNG. 66% chance you get a 5 cap, I believe. Alright, so now the only thing left to do is to beat the 2 different versions of Bowser. We've got Hallway Bowser and then Final Bowser. Hallway Bowser is a little bit of a joke, kinda. You may notice I'm already going in at 1 HP. This is, if you make it past this, if you do bow skip and you make it past Junior, a lot of runs die right here because you don't have out of sight. Alright, so we're gonna try and, oh, not that. Power bounce as much as we can. Okay, 4 cap, that's average. That's what you can get 3 capped. It's like, it's a much higher % chance to get 3 capped than other bosses. A perfect fight would be a double 5 cap. That was a 4. I can kill right now if I get a 7 cap, which is like 1%, I think. Okay, double 4 cap. That's pretty average. That's good though. That gets us a 3 turn. So, you know, he's using his Star Beam. He's he's invincible, right? Nah, he just has a lot of defense. Not enough though. And also, we routed our experience very specifically so that we do not level up right here. The entire run, like, the experience is very tight. Because if we level up right here, we're no longer in peril. Oh, we won't forget about Twink, don't worry. So that was a pretty average fight, I'd say. You can get screwed. If you get a 4 and 3 cap or less, it takes 4 turns to beat him, but it's not that bad. I mean, it kind of is, but not in a marathon. Alright, we're gonna save, you know, just to be safe. Save before the final boss, right? Oh, this isn't a race. This is just a run, but it is live. This is a live run. At McGruber. Alright, one more badge equip for the road. Oops, didn't make it all the way. Gonna put on take off Speedy Spin, put on Fire Shield. And now we fight Final Bowser, which a lot of what we've been doing this whole time leading up to here. I know, right? Like, you think that. And it's certain things he is invincible to. What is it, like special moves can't hurt him? Like Star Storm will dink. Watt's attack will dink. Certain things will. But if you deal enough normal damage to him, I think it's only like +4 defense or something. No, not quite tip that yet. Tip that. I mean, we can call it tippy. It's kind of tippy. All right, so now, surprise, surprise, power bounce. All right, that was a 3-cap. It's a 50-50 chance to get, like, you have a 50% chance to get 3-capped here, so it's pretty standard. Not what we want to see, but it happens. Luckily, damage that you deal, there's 2 phases to this fight. Luckily, damage you deal in phase 1 does carry over to phase 2. Okay, that's unfortunate. It's not what you want to see, but it's not the end of the world. We should still be fine. I mean, we definitely are still fine because I have a life room. I'd be a little worried if I was doing a PB attempt and that happened, though. No Tippy Toad, I'm sorry. There is a Toad in Peach's castle, but he's chilling, he's hiding in a closet. He doesn't give you a star. He does give you a bed to sleep in, though. Well, you can run away from encounters. So if you get an unwanted encounter, you just run away. But yeah, if you kill extra enemies, that would be a bad thing. A very bad thing. Oh yeah, and he is actually invincible right there. You actually can't deal damage. Dude, he should give you a free star piece. That'd be sick. All right, very important fight here. Hardest fight of the entire game. You gotta, deal enough damage. Okay, during this, let me explain how this next fight is going to go. So, what we need to do is we need to get into Parallel Bowser. We get our stats all refreshed at the beginning, so we always start at full HP. Bowser, on the first 2 turns, has 3 different moves that he could potentially use. His claw attack, he's got his claw attack, he's got his butt stomp, and he has fire. Butt Stomp and Claw both do a base 8 damage. If you block them, they do 7. So those would be good. His fire does 10 though, base. So that's an issue. So the badge setup that we have so we have PFD down on, so that actually makes them deal 1 more damage. But we're also going to be using Water Block on turn 1, which will cancel that out. Which means then if you block it, it's back down to 7 from the normal 2. But the special thing is that Water Block actually gives you +1 defense normally, but +2 against fire attacks. And then we're also using Fire Shield, so that gives you the extra 2 defense on Bowser's fire, that every single attack, if you block it, does 7 damage. And so if you're doing the math, we have 15 HP, 2 attacks that give us, excuse me, that deal 7 damage each, put us at 1 HP, which is perfect for what we're trying to do. Gives me lots of chance to power bounce. And so I'm going to be doing, basically I need to deal, I'm guaranteed at least 3 bounces with every power bounce. Luckily in phase 2, the percentages are a little bit nicer than phase 1. You usually get at least a 4. And so I need to deal an extra 7, if I want to save using the life shroom, I want to deal an extra 7 damage from 4 and 5 caps. So usually that ends up being like 2 4 caps. Dude, we big brain. Also, it's super nice because Bowser can heal he can heal in either phase. But it's super nice because whether or not he can heal is based on the differential between your HP and his HP. He can't heal on turn 1, but he can on every other turn. But we stay at low HP the entire fight, so we never even give him the chance to heal. So now I just have to execute and not miss blocks. If I miss blocks, it's gonna be a bad time. We got Peach Beam now, so we can actually take off his invincibility. Dude, it's such a sick song. I do like the English version is a little bit different, and I like it better, but it's still a sick song. Alright, shout outs to Quick Change, gonna use Water Block. Actually, I only wanted to do it for 2 turns, but then I got carried away a little. It's fine. Alright, good. Alright, now we're gonna power jump Shell Shots. Bowser is so big that you actually can't miss him with Shell Shot, so you just immediately go for it. Alright, he's giving us the double fire, nice and easy. Alright, now, oops, now we're gonna go for the power bounce. Okay, nice, we got a 5 cap. That means we just need one more. One more 4 cap and we're good. And we should have 2 more chances. Alright, so that's normal. That was what, turn 3? Yeah, turn 3. Turn 4, he's probably going to shield next turn. So we're going to use the repel gel that we grabbed after chapter 7. Nope. Oh, okay. Okay. He's giving us an interesting fight. We're prepared for this, though. It's fine. So we're going to go to Watt. We'll get the power charge. Turbocharge. All right, nice. We've dealt enough damage, enough extra damage. Okay, he's shielding. That's normal. That's good. So now we're going to take that back off of him. If he had held off on attacking or on shielding one more turn, we would have gotten what's known as beamless, which is a super fast fight. But no dice. Right, he's probably going to wave this turn. Not that it matters because we're using out of sight. Oh, lightning. Interesting. Doesn't really matter, but interesting. This is a weird this is a weird fight. And then just do 3, and he is dead. And that's how we beat Bowser. He gone. If I had gotten unlucky, I would have like if I had gotten bad caps or something, like a bunch of 3 caps, then I just would have lost my life shroom and then dealt like a Starstorm probably to deal enough damage. But you know what? We're chilling. That is Paper Mario. Technically the run's not over yet though. There is still a little bit left. Also, I may or may not. Thank you guys. Thank you. Much appreciated. we don't get to yeet Bowser off the edge. The game does it for us. But yeah, okay, so there's one more quote-unquote glitch in this game. Luigi skip. Do you guys want me to skip Luigi or not? It's as simple as holding down. That's all you gotta do. I personally want to skip him. Skipping him saves 8 seconds. Because we need bow. Technically, I can't do that in all cards normally either. Because in my PB attempt, I do skip. In my PB, I do skip bow. But you want to bring Luigi? Yes, this is like save the frames or save the Luigis. I think wait, yes. Wait, are the yeses to skip him or to bring him? Skip or bring? No skip. Skip. I've seen more skips than no skips personally. Okay, I'm seeing more skips. There are some brings. There is definitely some representation for the bring Luigi, but I'm seeing more skips, so we're gonna do that. Saves time. We gotta be fast, right? What are we looking at on time? Oh, we're coming in well underestimate, yeah. Because this split is usually what, like 6 minutes and 12 seconds or something like that. From the time the Star Rod hits Mario's hand. So yeah, this was a really good round. I'm really happy with how that went. He gets to direct the parade. It's fine. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of this time. I said it at the beginning of the video, but since there is some downtime during the epilogue, thank you to everyone. Thank you to Speedrun. Thank you to GSA for having me. This was a really good time. Glad everybody got to see this. If you... Oh, also, reminder to donate to, like, this is being done, this marathon is being done to benefit the Diabetes Prevention and Aid Fund, which is super cool. So, ! Donate to get the link to be able to donate to them. I think, what are we at? What's our donation? 1,010. Yeah, we're a little bit farther away from the 1,500 we'd need to make me narrate for 1 minute with a Mario accent. But if you hit it for cheese, which you should totally do, then that'd be sick. Someone should totally do that. Yeah, it's basically save or kill the animals. Is Luigi an animal now? Okay, but so that if you saw this, you thought it was super cool, you want to get into Paper Mario speedrunning, you know, we have the resources you need. Like, go to our speedrun.com. Go to our speedrun.com page. You know, what is it? Speedrun.com/ I think it's just PM64, or you can just search Paper Mario. Yeah, dude, there is a VIP badge for sale. What else? Oh yeah, so you can go there. Categories that I personally would recommend if you want to learn. Glitchless is the easiest to get into. You can probably already do everything you need to out of the bat. It's not an easy category. It's what I started with. I would highly recommend it if you have the time. It's about a 4-hour run. Probably 5 or 6 your first run, but otherwise, if you would rather do a glitch category, like it's too long or you don't care for glitchless categories, any percent is also now that yeah, thank you. Thank you for the plug. Any percent Glower, I'm Glower, who has like all the world records in this game, has made a very good beginner route. We have links to the routes and everything, and he's also done an example video that he has on his YouTube that you can find the links to. And he's done a bunch of tutorials, so like if you want to get into it, we definitely have the resources, and people are the hair. Dude, the hair has been on point for everybody today. Dude, Cheese is just gonna continue killing it with the hair. But yeah, highly recommended. It's a great speed game. I've been running it for 2 years. I'm still not tired of it. So, yeah. So yeah, we're still kill Luigi. I can't kill him. I don't know of a way to kill him. Yeah, if you want to follow me, they posted the link, twitch.tv/JCog, just 4 characters, easy to remember. But yeah, I'm streaming like 5 times a week. I don't want to plug myself too hard, but I do stream a decent amount. Oh, Glower watching. He's specking. All right, so this is the most complicated glitch in the game. I swear, it's crazy. Luigi skip. We actually allow this trick in glitchless just because it's too easy to accidentally do, even though it's technically a glitch. But it was voted on. Glitches are harder to find. It's fine. But yeah, so if you just hold down, on the controller, you'll listen for 2. Hear the 2 different pipe sounds. It just goes. Equip Speedy Spin. Do the last little bit of movement. Go spin through all here. Hit the door, open the door, and then you just hold B to the end. All right, let's see what do we got. Okay, this was really good for a marathon run. I'm super happy with how this went. And thank you to everybody who donated during the run. But yeah, next up after this we've got Cheese doing some SM64. I missed the category, but time is on Peach's hands, and there it is, a 2:57:35, which is not bad at all for a marathon. For anyone wondering, my PB is a 2:51, I think, which uses some more risky strats that save a lot of time, such as bow skip. But yeah, there's Luigi. For all you Luigi fans, he's leading the parade. It's fine. All right, but stick around. That is going to be it for me. Again, thank you to Speedrun, twitch.tv/Speedrun, GSA, for having me. I had a really good time. And, oh, okay, Cheese is doing a 120-star randomizer nonstop. So if you've never seen that, it's 120-star, but whenever you grab the star, it doesn't kick you out of the level, you just keep going. So it's super fast-paced, super entertaining to watch. So definitely stick around for that. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. So, yeah, thank you.
They are synced now. Do whatever. In the lead again.
Wow. Side for sure from Cheese. Okay, doing it moving. Oh no, the Cheese falls!